Chapter 94 Climbing. Hot rankings under 2A single sentence could determine the fate of hundreds, even thousands of life planets. The evolution path you're cultivating now has too low a probability of advancing to the 6th rank. Change to another one, a deep voice said. Ah! Change to another one? Lulan he felt some reluctance. But father, I really like the martial Tao, and the founding teacher often gives me guidance, he said, mustering courage to argue. I said the probability of advancing to the 6th rank is too low, only 10%. Choose something with higher odds, Lulan Yu said, somewhat impatiently. Before coming here, Lulan Yu had naturally reviewed the martial path evolutionary path. With his insight, he could naturally discern the strengths and weaknesses of the martial path evolutionary path. Being able to accommodate both the extreme energies of Tai Yin and Tai Yang was indeed impressive. But that was all. Moreover, the martial path evolutionary path currently had only the 1st-tier chapter and 2nd-layer chapter, and although it had the potential for a 6th rank, there was only a 10% chance. To Lulan Yu, this was far from enough. All right then. However, the martial path evolutionary path just updated with the 3rd rank chapter this morning, and I haven't even finished reading it. Lulan he said, feeling a bit aggrieved, but unable to go against his father's will. The 3rd rank chapter? Lulan Yu was slightly taken aback. He pulled up the information on the martial path evolutionary path, and indeed saw the newly released 3rd rank chapter. Lulan Yu chose to purchase and quickly skimmed through the content of the 3rd rank chapter. The 3rd rank already touches upon the power of origin rules? There's a 60% chance of advancing to the 6th rank? Lulan Yu's expression became slightly more solemn. He looked again at the release times of the 1st-tier chapter, 2nd-layer chapter, and 3rd rank chapter within the martial path evolutionary path. On average, each rank was released less than a year apart. It's not impossible to cultivate. Lulan Yu scanned his son Lulan He, who looked downcast, pondered for a moment, and then spoke. Since you like this evolution path so much, continue with it. Really? Lulan He's eyes widened. It was the first time he had seen his father change his mind on his own. While the outside world was abuzz over the martial path evolutionary path topping the evolution charts, Lin Yuan had just received the 2 cosmic spiritual objects he had purchased. The Yin attributed and Yang attributed objects, valued at 1,200 million. These are the vermilion fruit and cold jade? Lin Yuan opened the alloy box. His spirit slightly stirred. The alloy box was large, divided into 2 layers. The top layer held a crimson fruit. The fruit was only the size of a baby's fist but radiated a surprising amount of heat, as if it were a miniature fireball. Lin Yuan knew that this vermilion fruit was the fruit of some special plants deep in the universe. They were classified by age: centennial vermilion fruit, millennial vermilion fruit, decamillennial vermilion fruit, centimillennial vermilion fruit. The vermilion fruit Lin Yuan purchased was a centennial vermilion fruit. Even so, it was valued at 700 million, and it came with the privileges of a 4th-level citizen. Carefully picking up the vermilion fruit and setting it aside, Lin Yuan looked at the other item in the alloy box. Cold jade. Though not as expensive as the vermilion fruit, it was still a cosmic spiritual object worth 500 million. After thoroughly inspecting the 2 cosmic spiritual objects to ensure there were no issues, Lin Yuan began the refining process. He started with the vermilion fruit. Lin Yuan handled it with extreme caution. Under the light, the vermilion fruit seemed to have a liquefied substance like magma flowing within it. Who knows what kind of special plant could bear such fruit? Lin Yuan thought to himself. He then sat down cross-legged and began to slowly absorb the energy within the vermilion fruit. There were 2 ways to use the vermilion fruit. One could eat it directly, but only if the user's strength was at least at the 4th rank. Only then could one withstand the terrifying energy burst that occurred the moment the vermilion fruit was swallowed. Beneath 4th rank, one had to absorb it slowly, as Lin Yuan was doing. Though Lin Yuan was indeed at the 4th rank 9th realm, he could barely refine the fruit if he swallowed it directly, but there was no need for such haste. Time passed. 1 day later. In front of Lin Yuan, only a thin layer of the fruit peel remained. The essence inside had been completely absorbed by Lin Yuan. Next was another cosmic spiritual object, Han Jade. Refining Han Jade was much easier than the fruit. Especially since he had fully refined the fruit and his strength had subtly broken into the 4th rank. Refining Han Jade naturally became even easier. Half a day later. The entire piece of Han jade disappeared. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, his aura like a black hole as the powers of Tai Yin and Tai Yang turned into black and white, connecting with the universe. I've finally recovered to the 4th rank, 9th segment. Lin Yuan slowly opened his eyes and took a gentle breath. Deep within his Dantian Qi Si, the Tai Yin powers formed a Taiji pattern like a miniature galaxy, constantly rotating and intertwining. Now the Taiji field should be considered a real domain. With a thought, Lin Yuan easily covered all of Dongning City with the Taiji field. Moreover, if Lin Yuan wished, he could even spread it further. The power of the domain is something that only 4th and 5th rank evolvers could hope to grasp. But that's just wishful thinking. In reality, most of the 4th and 5th rank evolvers also cannot master the domain. This has nothing to do with combat strength or power, but with one's own cultivation system and talent. Take Lin Yuan for example, with the Tao of Taiji as his foundation and a perfect fusion of Tai Yin and Tai Yang, which then extended to the domain. He had mastered the Taiji field at the 2nd layer, which is the embryonic form of the domain. Other evolvers practicing martial Tao, even if they don't have against heaven's understanding like Lin Yuan. If they follow the martial path evolutionary path and master the powers of Tai Yin and Tai Yang to form the Tao of Taiji, even if they do not condense the Taiji field at the 2nd layer, naturally they will master the Taiji domain by the 4th or 5th rank. This is the advantage of an evolutionary path. Continue cultivating. After restoring all his strength, Lin Yuan once again immersed himself in cultivation and enlightenment. Possessing an against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan did not only cultivate by traversing worlds, he could also cultivate and seek enlightenment in the main world. It's just that, compared to the years, decades, or even 100 years spent in the traversing worlds, Lin Yuan's stay in the main world was short, which led to the illusion that most of his power was obtained through traversing. In fact, if Lin Yuan could spend decades or even centuries in the main world, he would similarly reach a terrifying height. As time edged closer, the heat of the tournament matches was rising. Especially the upcoming global top 10 matches, which attracted the attention of most citizens on Kanglan Star. Whether they were evolvers or ordinary citizens, they all wanted to know which evolver would win the final championship. In my opinion, Thunder God has a great chance of winning the championship. His evolution path is Kanglan Star's number 1 evolutionary path. Well, now it's number 2. Regardless, there's no problem with the evolution skill, and Thunder God himself, having survived lightning strikes and being able to incarnate as lightning, just this ability alone is enough. A well-known host began analyzing and releasing various videos to prove their point. Thunder God might be strong, but he's only 3rd rank. That Yang Wei, who has awakened 6th rank bloodline, has the greatest chance to win the championship. 6th rank bloodline. Do you understand what that means? Not only is the upper limit as high as 6th rank, but when at a lower rank, you can also awaken some innate abilities from the bloodline. Thunder God might be strong, but can he compare to a 6th rank fallen star? Another well-known host spoke out to refute and presented their own viewpoint. What does Thunder God amount to in front of Feng Qing? Do you understand the value of the ancient god evolution path? That's an evolution path with a great reputation even in the Qikuan star domain. If it weren't for the many limitations in cultivation, there wouldn't be any matter of the purple thunder evolution skill. And Yang Wei, so what if he's awakened a 6th rank bloodline? With such a diluted bloodline, what kind of talent can he get? A big shot in the field of science and popular knowledge spoke out sarcastically. Countless people on the internet argued, each supporting their favorite contestant. Finally, a host ranked the current 10 evolvers based on the number of supporters and the level of enthusiasm. 1st, Thunder God. 2nd, Feng Qing. 3rd, Yang Wei. 9th, Lin Yuan. 10th, Ruan Du. Chapter 95 Sweep, Crush, Global Number 1. Thunder God ranks 1st entirely because of his flashy fighting style. Summoning thunder, controlling thunder, transforming into thunder, especially transforming into thunder. Apparently, it captivated countless fans. It led to him surpassing Feng Qing in popularity, securing the top spot in the rankings this time. Of course, such civilian rankings carry little authority. They are merely based on the past achievements of the top 10 evolvers, as well as their personal popularity. Even so, the rankings of these 10 evolvers do to some extent reflect the outcome of the final battle. The top 3, for example, whether it is Thunder God ranked 1st, or Feng Qing, or even Yang Wei. In any case, These 3 evolvers are clearly a tier above the remaining 7 in strength. Almost everyone believes the champion will emerge from these 3. As for which one it will be, only after the fights will we know. In order to ensure fairness in the competition, the official organizers have not yet allowed these 3 evolvers to encounter each other in the arena. Jianghu is an exception. Before awakening a 6th-rank bloodline, he was once crushed by Thunder God. But once a 6th-rank bloodline is awakened, it's hard to say who will win or lose. Evolved beings constrained by their own bloodlines can nonetheless dominate their ranking once they awaken a powerful bloodline. The day before the global competition. Virtual world. The officials of the competition found Lin Yuan. "Hello, Mr. Lin Yuan, I am the official assistant for this arena competition," a woman with soft features and light purple pupils said with a smile. "Hello." Lin Yuan replied with a nod. "We need you to record a video, mainly your thoughts on the upcoming top 10 competition." The female assistant paused before continuing. "Of course, if Mr. Lin Yuan is unsure what to say, we can provide a script for you to read from." After speaking, the assistant brought out a stack of documents. Lin Yuan took them, skimmed through, and immediately understood that these scripts were meant for declaring war on the other 9 evolvers. Although the top 3 spots of this competition are almost already decided among Feng Qing, Thunder God, and Jianghu, regardless, one must not lose momentum. Even if one doesn't make it into the top 3, there is still 4th, 5th to 10th place. These pre-competition interviews are designed to provoke and thereby incite other contestants and the audience. "I'll just speak for myself." After reading through the interview scripts, Lin Yuan felt they did not suit him. If Mr. Lin Yuan has his own ideas, then there's naturally no need for a script. The female assistant spoke gently. Having followed more than one tournament, she knew that some evolvers get nervous before competition, which is why she considerately prepared scripts. "Then let's..." Lin Yuan's face lit up with a smile. "I wish everyone a pleasant competition." "Is that all?" the female assistant asked after hearing Lin Yuan's response, patiently waiting a moment longer. When she saw Lin Yuan looking at her, she realized he had finished speaking. "Isn't that enough? Or is there a time requirement for the video?" Lin Yuan inquired. "There's no time requirement," the assistant hurriedly replied. "It just seemed a bit brief." The assistant had another thought that she didn't vocalize. Lin Yuan's statement lacked impact. Merely wishing everyone a pleasant competition? But as an assistant for the competition, she could not dictate what Lin Yuan wanted to say. "Then I'll be leaving. Lastly, I hope Mr. Lin Yuan achieves a good ranking." With a smile, the female assistant vanished on the spot. That evening, Lin Yuan continued his usual practice. At that moment, his smart assistant informed him that the profit distribution from the martial Dao evolutionary path had been settled. "Let's see how much money there is." Lin Yuan was interested. The revenue share was settled once a year. As of that day, Lin Yuan had already gone through one settlement. However, during that settlement, the martial Dao evolutionary path had barely made it into the top 100 and had not been there long, so the final income was just under 10 million. From the last settlement to this one, the martial Dao evolutionary path had been in the top 10 of the evolution rankings for nearly a year, which surely attracted many citizens to practice it. 536 billion? Lin Yuan was slightly surprised to see the final revenue share. This was just the income received. If one were to include the 70% taken by the officials and the taxes, wouldn't the total sales reach nearly 10 billion? Evolution path, martial Dao. Number of people practicing innate chapter, 7,893. Number of people practicing Grandmaster chapter, 2. Number of people practicing Great Grandmaster chapter, 0. Someone has reached the Grandmaster realm? Lin Yuan glanced over the related data of people cultivating the martial Dao evolutionary path. This data came from the Cosmic Human Alliance official records, registered with the Evolvers Association. There might be discrepancies, such as evolvers reaching the Grandmaster realm without registration. But it wouldn't be by much. Such cases like Lin Yuan, whose strength surged dramatically every 8 months, were extremely rare. These numbers don't add up. Lin Yuan looked again at the sales figures for each level of the martial Dao evolutionary path. Over 200 copies of the 3rd rank chapter sold? Lin Yuan was somewhat astonished. To date, the martial Dao evolutionary path was divided into 3 chapters. 1st rank chapter, 2nd layer chapter, and 3rd rank chapter. Lin Yuan set the price for these 3 stages as First Rank Chapter, 10,000. Second Layer Chapter, 500,000. Third Rank Chapter, 5 million. And the Third Rank Chapter of the Martial Dao Evolutionary Path hadn't been uploaded for long. Yet it had already sold over 200 copies? Considering the price of 5 million per copy, over 200 copies meant more than 10 billion. After deducting the 70% taken by the officials and the taxes, that would still amount to 3 to 4 billion. That was no small number. Chapter 96 Sweep, Crush, World's Number 1 Under 2. It must be a chain reaction caused by the martial path evolutionary path reaching its pinnacle. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment before roughly clearing up the cause. After uploading the third rank section, it triggered the Goddess of Wisdom to re-evaluate the martial path evolutionary path, which then topped the Kanglin evolution ranking. In the entire Qikuan star domain, this might not be a big deal, but it was definitely going to cause an uproar in the circles of evolvers on Kanglin star. Those top evolvers spending over 5 million to buy the martial path evolutionary path to study was nothing out of the ordinary. 5 million might be a lifetime earning for ordinary citizens, but for third and fourth rank evolvers, it wasn't a huge sum. I've made back the investment just like that. Lin Yuan felt delighted as the wealth shrunk from purchasing the Zhu fruit and Han jade, 2 cosmic spiritual objects, was immediately replenished. And he even gained a few billion extra. Next time I settle accounts, the income should be even more. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The influence of the martial path evolutionary path reaching its pinnacle had yet to fully ferment. As time went by, the future new birth evolvers of Kanglin star would inevitably consider the martial path evolutionary path as their first choice. After all, given nearly the same cost, one evolutionary path ranked first on the ranking, while others were second, third, fourth. Any sane person would know how to choose. The next day, the competition for the top 10 globally officially began. On an extremely large arena, a male and a female host appeared. These 2 hosts were the most famous on Kanglin star, responsible for the commentary of the top 10 finals. And the seats around the arena quickly filled with one audience member after another. While in the virtual world broadcast screen, it showed a large number of citizens watching. Fellow citizens, the moment everyone has been eagerly awaiting has finally arrived, the top 10 finals. I'm sure everyone is desperately curious to see who will emerge as the champion of this arena competition. The male host raised his hand and said loudly, "Let's not waste any more words, now please welcome our 10 evolvers to the stage." The camera zoomed in. Feng Qing, Thunder God, Yang Wei, Lin Yuan, and other 7 contestants stepped onto the stage in succession. Each time a contestant appeared, cheers resounded like tidal waves, especially for Feng Qing, Thunder God, and Yang Wei. As for the rest, they were largely overshadowed, since everyone was interested in the champion, and currently, Feng Qing, Thunder God, and Yang Wei seemed to have the greatest chances of winning. Lin Yuan, I love you. When it was Lin Yuan's turn, a portion of the audience got excited. Lin Yuan's unique fighting style, liking to torture his opponents, indeed attracted a group of uniquely interested die-hard fans. All right. At this point, the male host started speaking again. It goes without saying, these 10 individuals are the finest young evolvers of our Kanglin star. They are the future of Kanglin star. But on the arena, a victor must still be determined. The male host's voice resonated. The competition begins now. First up is the scoring game. All 10 evolver contestants will appear on an island that is 100 miles long and wide. The goal for all contestants is to find these blue crystals on the island. The male host pointed with his right hand, and a palm-sized, deep blue crystal appeared in front of everyone. There are a total of 100 of these crystals, scattered in various hidden locations on the island. The scoring at the end of the game will be based on the number of crystals possessed, he said, pausing for a moment. And let me remind you, combat between contestants is not prohibited in this scoring game. His words carried a hint of gunpowder. Not prohibiting combat meant that merely finding crystals wasn't enough. The most important thing was to keep them. Otherwise, you might find 100 crystals, but if you're killed and robbed by other evolvers, it's all in vain. The competition starts now, said the male and female hosts together. Instantly, Feng Qing, Thunder God, and others appeared at various locations on the island. Above the grand arena, 10 screens appeared in the air. These 10 screens broadcasted the 10 evolver contestants. Now you may choose your favorite contestant's viewpoint, and you can switch viewpoints at any time, the male host reminded. No sooner had he spoken, many viewers started to choose their viewpoints. And the number of viewers for each screen updated in real time. After a moment, the viewership numbers for each of the 10 screens more or less settled down. The viewpoint for Thunder God had the most viewers, over 110 billion. Feng Qing came next, with just over 100 billion. Yang Wei had over 90 billion. The numbers on the screen constantly fluctuated, clearly indicating many viewers were switching between different viewpoints. Alright, the competition has started. The male host would switch between different viewpoints every so often, providing commentary. But most of the time, the focus was on Thunder God, Feng Qing, and Yang Wei. After all, these three contestants drew the most attention, and commenting on their fights attracted even greater responses from the audience. Looking for stuff? That's not really my forte. Feng Qing appeared in a dense forest, a thoughtful expression on his face. But maybe I could give it a try. Feng Qing closed his eyes, and behind him, an immense ancient god phantom vaguely surfaced. And with the aid of this ancient god phantom, Feng Qing's senses rapidly spread out. Blue crystals. Thunder God appeared at the edge of the island, his pupils subtly revealing flashes of blue lightning, eventually surrounded by purple thunder within 1,000 meters around him. Boom, boom, boom. One blue crystal after another was revealed by the collisions with the purple thunder, falling into Thunder God's hands. Let's see where the crystals are. Chapter 97 Sweeping, Crushing. World's number 103 Yang Wei was a man of stern appearance, his pupils subtly deepening. Bloodline talent. Pupil of insight. In a flash, within Yang Wei's vision, trees, stones, and everything else became illusory. Only the blue crystals radiated an unusual color. There's a crystal. Yang Wei saw a blue crystal and flew straight towards it. Above the enormous arena, the male commentator was providing rapid commentary. Look at our contestant Feng Qing, directly summoning the ancient god's apparition to enhance perception, and he has already found 6 blue crystals. After the commentator finished his praise, he shifted the camera angle to Thunder God. My goodness, Thunder God has also awakened a nascent domain, probably the nascent Thunder domain. Using this nascent form to search for blue crystals certainly gives him an advantage over the other contestants. And now our Thunder God has already found 11 crystals. The method Yang Wei uses to search for crystals is quite interesting. Can he directly know where the crystals are? Is he using some kind of ocular bloodline talent? The male and female hosts were switching between 10 different camera views, commenting on each one in turn. Finally, the camera view switched to Lin Yuan. Our contestant Lin Yuan is resting? The male commentator was a bit taken aback. In the previous 9 camera views, all contestants were frantically searching for crystals. Yet when it came to Lin Yuan, he appeared to be casually lying on a boulder, resting with his eyes closed. And this scene was seen by many viewers. On the screen, Lin Yuan was leisurely lying on a boulder. A stark contrast to the other contestants searching for crystals. No way. Could it be that he's already given up the struggle? Right, with Lin Yuan's mastery of a nascent domain, he should be good at finding crystals, but finding crystals and holding on to them are two different things. With Lin Yuan's strength, even if he finds crystals, once he encounters powerhouses like Thunder God or Feng Qing, he'll probably have to hand them over obediently. Countless viewers were discussing heatedly, most believing that Lin Yuan had started to throw in the towel. After all, even if he didn't get a single crystal, he would still be ranked 10th in the world. It seems our contestant Lin Yuan is very adept at making choices. The male host pondered for a long time before finally coming up with a suitable phrase. Next, the male host switched camera views again. An attitude like Lin Yuan's passive approach to the competition was not supported by the official arena officials, as it lacked spectacle. Even if there was no hope, one had to struggle a bit, as this would spur much more discussion among viewers. On a boulder on the island, Lin Yuan opened his eyes and looked around. It's about time, Lin Yuan thought to himself. The rules of this scoring match were to find 100 blue crystals scattered across the entire island. These blue crystals could be hidden anywhere on the island. Even if Lin Yuan wanted to search, it would still take time. Better to wait until the other 9 evolvers had gathered their share. Then he could pick the peaches. After all, the rules of the competition did not prohibit snatching, and even encouraged combat and struggle. Let's see who's nearby. Lin Yuan's thoughts moved slightly, and the Taiji domain rapidly expanded. 1 mile, 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles. 3 of them. Lin Yuan opened his eyes, his figure vanishing on the spot. The 10th blue crystal. Yang Wei maintained his bloodline talent pupil of insight and was quick at finding blue crystals. It wasn't long before he found the 10th crystal. Keep in mind, there were only a total of 100 crystals scattered across the entire island. Spotted another one? Yang Wei scanned his surroundings. His eyes lit up, and he was about to proceed. Just then, an overwhelming pressure descended. What? Yang Wei's expression revealed horror. Immediately after, he saw darkness, and his entire being turned into nothingness. The next moment, Yang Wei appeared in the competition's resting area. Yang Wei's face showed disbelief. I died. Yang Wei's mind was a mess. Up until this moment, he didn't know how he had died. Keep in mind, even if he faced the strongest like Thunder God or Feng Qing, he had confidence that he could fight for a while. Even in defeat, it would be a close defeat. But to be instantly killed like this was too inconceivable. Meanwhile, high above the massive arena, the camera view belonging to Yang Wei suddenly blacked out. The nearly 100 million viewers watching Yang Wei's perspective were suddenly left without a home, and they exploded in uproar. Chapter 98. The End of the Arena Competition, the ultimate reward for being the world's #1. Please subscribe. What the hell? What just happened? Why did Yang Wei's point of view screen go black? At first, the audience thought it was an isolated incident. Perhaps there was some problem with the network connection. But after discussing it with each other, they realized that everyone watching Yang Wei's point of view saw a black screen, which immediately caused an uproar. Up in the sky above the great arena, the male host clearly noticed the situation. Yang Wei, having awakened as a 6th-rank fallen star warrior, was one of the hot favorites to win this tournament, and even a host like him would pay extra attention to such a contender. Upon discovering the anomaly, the male host quickly took action. Let's see what happened in the last few seconds before Yang Wei left the stage. The male host, experienced as he was, knew that the sudden blackout had nothing to do with the network. After all, if it were truly a network issue, then the screens for all 10 perspectives would have problems simultaneously. Another possibility for the sudden blackout was that the contender had been eliminated. The audience knew this too, but with Yang Wei's popularity being so high and his strength so formidable, how could a 6th-rank fallen star warrior be eliminated so suddenly? Nobody wanted to believe it. As the male host operated the controls, Yang Wei's screen image began to rewind. It went back to 3 seconds before the blackout. The male host watched intently, and nearly 10 billion viewers did the same. A smile appeared on Yang Wei's face in the image. He must have located the position of the next blue crystal. The next moment. Boom! Yang Wei burst into a cloud of blood mist. His internal organs had long been shattered, and he disintegrated into nothingness. As the host had called up a god's eye view, the scene did not end there. People clearly saw that after Yang Wei's body exploded, the 9 blue crystals he carried fell to the ground. At that moment, a slender right hand caught the blue crystals. The camera angle shifted to reveal that the owner of this right hand was Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan pocketed the 9 crystals and once again vanished from the spot. And this scene instantly set all the viewers who witnessed it ablaze. Lin Yuan. Was it Lin Yuan who killed Yang Wei? How is this possible? Does Lin Yuan have that kind of strength? An uproar of discussion rose like a tidal wave among the countless viewers. In truth, even if Lin Yuan had defeated Yang Wei, or even killed him, it wouldn't be too surprising. It would just mean that Lin Yuan was the dark horse of this tournament, defying everyone's expectations. Every iteration of the tournament would occasionally have such incidents, where a competitor not favored by the audience suddenly burst forth. But there was supposed to be a fight, at least a few exchanges of blows. What did it mean for Lin Yuan to kill Yang Wei without Yang Wei even having a chance to react? So it was our Lin Yuan. Even the host, who had learned from backstage in advance that it was Lin Yuan who killed Yang Wei, forgot his lines for a moment. It was too incredible. Too unbelievable. Our Lin Yuan has been hiding his abilities deeply, the host said, breathing deeply. Just now, he must have used the power of his domain to crush Yang Wei completely. The male host took a deep breath, pulled up the data from backstage, and began explaining to the audience. in the resting area for the contestants. Yang Wei, now eliminated, also understood how he died through the host's replay and explanation. This Lin Yuan, Yang Wei clenched his fist, has been hiding his strength all along. Ever since he awakened his 6th-rank bloodline, a dedicated team had approached him to analyze the other competitors. According to their analysis, Yang Wei only needed to pay attention to Thunder God and Feng Qing. As for Lin Yuan, Yang Wei had also studied Lin Yuan's battle videos. He didn't think he needed to be overly concerned. But now, as Yang Wei was eliminated, the number of viewers watching Lin Yuan's perspective increased rapidly. From the original tens of millions, it surged to hundreds of millions, tens of billions, over 100 billion. After all, nearly 10 billion viewers were watching Yang Wei, and with Yang Wei eliminated, this part of the audience naturally switched to Lin Yuan's perspective. Even the male host began to commentate from Lin Yuan's perspective. I must say, our Lin Yuan's speed. Just as the male host was marveling, Lin Yuan in the camera found another revolver. Bas. This contestant was a woman with somewhat curved eyebrows, her smile resembling a crescent moon. Her name was Fan Yu, and despite her delicate appearance, she was a very strong competitor. On the unofficial leaderboard, Fan Yu was ranked 4th, trailing only behind Feng Qing, Thunder God, and Yang Wei. But in the next moment, Fan Yu turned into a blood mist, disintegrated into nothingness. The 6 blue crystals she carried were also caught by Lin Yuan. Cries of shock once again emanated from the spectator stands. If when Yang Wei was killed, most of the audience didn't react in time and their focus was on Yang Wei, not knowing how Lin Yuan made his move. This time, many viewers were focused on Lin Yuan, witnessing the entire process of Fan Yu's death. It could be summarized in 2 words. Overwhelming. It was as if some invisible force suppressed Fan Yu, and within 10 meters of Lin Yuan, she was crushed to nothingness. Lin Yuan then arrived just in time to scoop up the falling blue crystals. The whole process was seamless, without any pause or hindrance. Fan Yu seemed to cooperate without any struggle. Following that, under the watchful eyes of all the viewers, the 3rd one, the 4th one, the 5th one. One after another, contenders were inexplicably crushed, and the viewer screens naturally switched to Lin Yuan's perspective. This led to an increasing number of viewers watching Lin Yuan. After a brief silence, hundreds of billions of viewers went into a frenzy, utterly losing their minds. Is this Lin Yuan? He's so powerful? Which idiot ranked Lin Yuan 9th? Chapter 99, The End of the Arena Competition, the ultimate reward for being the world's #1, subscription request. Under 2, his current strength, 4th rank? More and more spectators switched to Lin Yuan's perspective. Even the fans of Thunder God and Feng Qing gathered around, discussing fervently. In this tournament, or perhaps in the history of such tournaments, it was rare to see an evolver like Lin Yuan who easily crushed other contestants. After all, the precondition for participating in the tournament was being under 100 years old, typically only showcasing 3rd-rank beginners at best. As for stronger ones, they were probably picked up by other star system level powers and participated in more prestigious tournaments at the star system and star domain levels. From the spectator stand. Damn, I thought I could beat him. Bing Yan looked towards Lin Yuan on the battlefield, who seemed like a god or devil. He was also one of the top 20 evolvers in this tournament, with 3rd-rank strength, and had fought against Lin Yuan. Back then, Lin Yuan had not revealed such terrifying combat power, so Bing Yan thought he had a chance to win. But now, looking back, his own thoughts seemed rather ridiculous. Holy shit, is Brother Lin's strength that strong? Zhong Bai, Chao Rong, and others had their eyes wide open. Mr. Liao next to them also showed an incredulous look. Particularly Mr. Liao had sent other contestants' combat videos to Lin Yuan, thinking he wasn't interested because he felt he couldn't win. Now it seemed, Lin Yuan really wasn't interested at all. On the island, around Thunder God, within a few hundred meters, there was a purple thunder encircling. He himself was also sprinting at an extremely fast speed towards a certain direction. With the help of the nascent thunder domain, Thunder God had already collected 15 blue crystals. Ha! Thunder God suddenly stopped in his tracks. The spreading nascent thunder domain around him suddenly faced some terrifying suppression and instantly dissipated. Are you Lin Yuan? Thunder God's pupils contracted as he looked towards a figure that had appeared nearby without him noticing. It's me. Lin Yuan was also sizing up Thunder God. Unlike other evolvers, Thunder God's physique had undergone the baptism of thunder, making it extremely unique. Thus, Lin Yuan did not immediately suppress him. Instead, he planned to study for a while. Now Lin Yuan was at 9th segment of the 4th rank, and other 3rd rank evolvers could be understood just by observing a few times. Only Thunder God and that Feng Qing required a bit more observation. You! Thunder God glanced towards Lin Yuan, tension evident in his gaze. At this moment, he faintly sensed a powerful and vast suppressive force emanating from all around Lin Yuan, far surpassing his nascent thunder domain. Instinct told Thunder God that Lin Yuan was too strong, so strong that it was beyond his resistance. Just like moments earlier, his nascent thunder domain was instantly crushed. You can attack me. Lin Yuan's gaze flickered as he spoke. To attack you. Thunder God's mouth twitched, with Lin Yuan feeling to him like a towering mountain. And he, Thunder God, was merely an ordinary person. Now, the towering mountain was telling him, Thunder God, to strike him. How to strike? With what to strike? No. I am Thunder God. I can lose but cannot fear. Thunder God took a deep breath. His skin, his flesh, his internal organs, his bones, almost in an instant, transformed into purple thunder. Incarnation as thunder. Faced with other opponents, Thunder God rarely used this ability immediately. But the pressure from Lin Yuan was too great. So great that if he did not transform into thunder, he would have likely conceded. Physical energy transformation? Lin Yuan's eyes sparkled. This ability was extremely rare. At least since the tournament began, Lin Yuan had encountered many evolvers, but only Thunder God possessed it. Boom! Thunder God, transformed into purple thunder, charged directly towards Lin Yuan. Buzz! The purple thunder exploded violently when it came within 10 meters of Lin Yuan. Finally, countless fine purple thunders converged and reformed into Thunder God's figure again. Good, good. Lin Yuan nodded. Again. Thunder God spat out a mouthful of blood and transformed into thunder again. This continued 3 times. The last time Thunder God forcibly transformed into thunder caused his physical body to collapse, leading him to die willingly in front of Lin Yuan. So, transforming into thunder, this ability can be used up to 3 times in a short period. Lin Yuan mused to himself. However, by watching Thunder God transform into thunder 3 times, Lin Yuan gained quite a lot, collecting the fallen blue crystals and then went to find the next evolver. Too strong. Lin Yuan, I love you. Thunder God is already very strong, but in front of Lin Yuan, he's like a child. True, I guess if Lin Yuan hadn't been interested in tormenting people, the fight would have ended much earlier, just like with Yang Wei. The chatter of countless spectators arose. Previously everyone was debating which evolver was stronger. Now everyone is arguing Lin Yuan is too strong. There's no way around it, given the strength Lin Yuan has exhibited. It's on a completely different level compared to other evolvers. It's like a father beating his son. Why is it so quiet? At a location on the island, Feng Qing appeared slightly surprised. Behind him, a grand ancient god shadow stood tall, constantly releasing its senses in all directions. The ancient god shadow's precise range of perception was about 2 or 3 miles around itself. Within these 2 or 3 miles, every little detail would emerge in Feng Qing's mind. As for areas beyond 2 or 3 miles, the ancient god shadow also had vague perceptions, such as the general auras of other evolvers, and so forth. But now, Feng Qing suddenly felt as if the entire island had fallen into a sort of silence. As if he were the only one moving. What's happened? Feng Qing wondered. However, since it was currently competition time, he couldn't contact the outside world. A moment later, in the competition's rest area, Feng Qing's figure appeared. Me! Feng Qing's face showed an extremely complicated expression, along with a hint of fear. Just now, he had encountered Lin Yuan, or rather, Lin Yuan had found him. What followed was a fight where he was repeatedly toyed with, no matter how Feng Qing resisted or struggled. No matter how exquisite the techniques from the ancient god evolution path were, facing Lin Yuan meant constant suppression. What made Feng Qing even more baffled was, with Lin Yuan's strength, he could have ended his life quickly, but he didn't. This behavior made Feng Qing absolutely certain that Lin Yuan indeed enjoyed tormenting his opponents. You all have been eliminated. Feng Qing quickly realized, not just him but Thunder God, Yang Wei, and 8 other evolvers were there too. That Lin Yuan, Yang Wei gritted his teeth. He wanted to say Lin Yuan was bullying the weak, but then remembered according to the competition rules, Lin Yuan might not even be older than him. As Feng Qing looked around, he suddenly understood. It turns out they had all been eliminated by Lin Yuan. Fanboy, look carefully, that Lin Yuan must be 4th rank, and even higher than 9 segments, mastering a complete domain. His talent throws you 9 streets behind. A palm-sized elderly man with a white beard suddenly appeared on Feng Qing's shoulder. At this moment, this white-bearded old man was watching the video of the recent point match, his words showing disdain for Feng Qing. 4th rank. Higher than 9 segments? Feng Qing shrank his head. Even though he had received his teacher's heritage and had the intelligent life of a white-bearded old man, breaking through to the 4th rank would take him at least a century, let alone reaching a high segment. When all 9 competitors including Feng Qing were eliminated, Lin Yuan naturally became the final victor on the island. This point match, compared to previous editions, was way too unpredictable. Feng Qing, Thunder God, and Yang Wei, in previous tournaments, all had the potential to win the championship. Yet, in this edition, they appeared at the same time. That alone was unexpected, but then emerged a monster like Lin Yuan. He alone overwhelmed and crushed the other 9 competitors with his power, turning an otherwise exciting point match into a dull and uniform event. All everyone needed to do was watch Lin Yuan perform. The other evolvers were merely there for setting the scene. After the point match ended, the combat competitions began. However, Feng Qing and a few other evolvers, as soon as they were matched with Lin Yuan, didn't even think about it and immediately conceded. What a joke. Why not concede and wait to be tortured? This actually disappointed Lin Yuan. He had originally planned to continue experiencing the transformation of thunder and the ancient god evolution skill. Several days later, the individual rankings for the combat tournament were finalized. Lin Yuan was ranked first, the champion of Kanglan Star. The individual competitions concluded. The tournament officials then began to distribute the rewards. Firstly, was the reward for the global champion. These. Lin Yuan looked at the reward list in front of him, his expression slightly changing. Chapter 100. Choosing Rewards, Different Species, please subscribe. Compared to the team competition rewards, the individual competition rewards were much more generous, not only in quantity, but also in quality, far surpassing those of the team competition. Especially for Lin Yuan, who had achieved the #1 ranking globally, the rewards were considerable. Mr. Lin Yuan, if there is anything on the reward list that you do not understand, you can ask me. Standing beside him was a woman dressed in a pink skirt. Her graceful demeanor made one feel amiable towards her. On the reward list, there were 50 items. There were high-tech weapons, battleships, spaceships, and the like. There were also inheritances of evolution paths, including the Purple Thunder evolution path practiced by Thunder God, which was once a top-ranking evolution path on Kanglan Star. There were also some cosmic rare treasures, treasures of the starry sky, and uncommon spiritual objects, and so on. As the champion of the individual competition, Lin Yuan could select 5 items from the list and had the right of first choice. That is to say, the 50 items on the list would only be available for other evolvers to select from after Lin Yuan had made his choices. According to the competition rules, the first place could select 5 items. The second and third places could select 3 items. From the 4th to the 10th place they could select 1 item. Which 5 should I choose? Lin Yuan was thinking rapidly. To be honest, Lin Yuan wanted all 50 items on the reward list. After all, each one was extraordinarily valuable, worth billions, and one couldn't simply buy them with money. They also required citizen rights and other restrictions. Even if Lin Yuan himself didn't need them, he knew many would pay a premium price for them. 3rd rank gene potion? I don't need it. 4th rank orbital cannon? Also not needed. Lin Yuan continued to eliminate options until he had decided on 5. 1. 4th rank life fruit. This cosmic rare treasure contained an enormous amount of life force, allowing evolvers below the 5th rank to recover quickly from even the most severe injuries, as long as their soul remained. It was a treasure for preserving life. Even a 4th rank life fruit had a certain effect on 5th rank evolvers, remaining effective as long as the injuries were not fatal. Lin Yuan chose the life fruit purely as a precaution against extreme situations, ensuring he had it on hand should he sustain any injuries. Furthermore, within the Cosmic Human Alliance, the life fruit was highly sought after and always in short supply. Even if Lin Yuan didn't need it, he could monetize it later on. 2. The Soul Defense Treasure Soul Suppressing Bell. The Soul Suppressing Bell could guard one's soul and effectively defend against other soul attacks or soul disturbances. The soul is crucial for life. In the Cosmic Human Alliance, whether one is classified as human race is not determined by the physical body, but by the soul. For example, some cosmic prodigies with great fortunes seize the bodies of some innate powerful special life forms. Would that cosmic prodigy still count as part of the human race? Or would the offspring of some great figures who switch to a body with superior aptitude still be considered the descendants of those figures? The first one counts. The second one counts as well. As long as the soul is unique, that is enough. 3. Jiuli Liquid. This liquid could enhance one's physical base strength to a certain extent, and was only effective for evolvers of the 4th rank and below. The soul may be important, but the physical body is essential. In the Cosmic Human Alliance's commercial app, Jiuli Liquid can only be hoped to be purchased for 50 billion. And that is only a hope. As soon as it appears, it is often snapped up immediately. 4. Soul Nourishing Jade. Wearing this jade over a long period can subtly increase soul strength. As for the 5th item, he chose a 6th rank evolution skill. This 6th rank evolution skill, from another life planet, seemed from its description to complement Lin Yuan's martial Tao cultivation system significantly. If Lin Yuan were to purchase it directly, each evolution skill would also cost tens of billions. This 6th rank evolution skill was almost top tier among the 50 items. That will be all. Lin Yuan returned the reward list to the lady in the pink skirt. Understood. The lattice eyes were gentle. Before she left, she suddenly mentioned, "By the way, Mr. Lin Yuan, there might be news from the Qikuan star domain after a while." Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. Before the 3rd teleportation, Lin Yuan had learned from the Goddess of Wisdom that the current platform competition might catch the eye of the Qikuan Star Lord. The Qikuan Star Lord was a supreme figure who ruled over an entire star domain. Currently, Kanglan Star was also under the jurisdiction of the Qikuan Star Domain, one of the million life planets within its domain. Of course, the explanation from the Goddess of Wisdom was very vague. She only mentioned that it was possible to draw the attention of the Qikuan Star Lord and that even if he did, it might not necessarily lead to any reaction. After Lin Yuan had selected his rewards, the other evolvers began to choose in turn. "I pick these 3, Feng Qing said, his tone somewhat dejected. In this competition, he had secured 2nd place. He was only second to Lin Yuan. Nevertheless, Feng Qing still felt somewhat inadequate. Mainly because the gap in strength between him and Lin Yuan was too great. If either Thunder God or Yang Wei had secured 2nd place, he would have accepted it, feeling that he had hope of catching up. The white-bearded old man sitting on his shoulder then shook his head and said, "Feng kid, you really don't need to reproach yourself. That Lin Yuan kid may have some talent indeed, but the evolution path he practices surely can't compare to the ancient god evolution path. He might be ahead of you now, and perhaps he will lead you in 10 years, or even several decades, but after 100 or several hundred years, he will certainly not catch up to you." Chapter 101. Choosing Rewards, Different Species. Please subscribe. Understood 2. You have the qualifications to cultivate the ancient god evolution path, and with my guidance, there's a great hope you can step into the 6th rank. What about Lin Yuan? He's likely to be stuck at the 6th rank bottleneck forever. At that point, you can beat him up again to vent your anger, the bearded old man consoled. In fact, if he had a choice, he really wished he could switch his heir. Lin Yuan wasn't bad at all. But once an heir for the ancient god evolution path was determined, it couldn't be changed. This meant that the bearded old man could only stick to this path until the end. Thus, he could only comfort Feng Qing, this inadequate successor. "Right. What's it matter if you're stronger than me now? What I want is the future, what I want is later on. Being able to step into the 6th rank, travel the starry sea, and strike down a fallen star. Wouldn't that be far more exhilarating than now?" Feng Qing took a deep breath and suddenly felt that his future was bright. Time passed. The process of the Kanglan Star Tournament was quickly spreading to the surrounding life planets. This time, Kanglan Star had produced a 4th rank evolver, a phenomenon not seen in hundreds of thousands of years. For a middle-grade life planet like Kanglan Star, the probability of a 4th rank evolver emerging before the age of 100 was almost zero. Only those higher-grade life planets, even star domain's main planets, had a higher chance of producing a fourth rank under 100 years old. Kanglan Star Spacecraft Landing Area. A beautiful woman stepped out. In the interstellar era, regardless of gender, appearances were never bad. Not to mention genetic correction, even the cosmetic medical treatments available could easily and safely alter appearances. However, this beautiful woman was not only stunningly beautiful but also possessed a unique charisma that made men uncontrollably wish to conquer her. Who would have thought that such a remote planet could also produce a fourth rank under 100 years old? As soon as the beautiful woman stepped off the ship, a special hovercar came to pick her up. The task for this trip is to seduce this fourth-rank genius, get him to join our race, and influence him as much as possible. The beautiful woman thought quickly. A direct assassination would be too costly. After all, to assassinate a fourth rank, you'd need at least the ability of a fifth rank. If it were another fourth rank, and they couldn't kill instantly, allowing the target just a second or two to fight back, the planetary defense system's energy cannon would arrive. Only a fifth rank was reliable. And after assassinating a target, a fifth rank would certainly be shredded by the subsequent planetary defense systems, as well as the arriving human race's powerful warriors. That is, wanting to assassinate a fourth-rank human genius required the sacrifice of a fifth-rank warrior. And this fifth-rank warrior also had to infiltrate the human race internally, possessing a complete and legal identity. Otherwise, it would be impossible to enter Kanglan Star or get close to the target. Achieving this would probably be 100 or 1,000 times more difficult than cultivating a fifth-rank strong warrior. The human race's three goddesses were not to be trifled with. To escape their information blockade, no matter which different species, would require a great sacrifice. Therefore, unless it's those founders of high-grade evolutionary paths, different species would not easily attempt assassination. Assassination is a desperate choice. Besides assassination, there are myriad other methods available. Shueiyue Residential Complex. House number 32. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, the content of the Pagoda Evolution Path continually surfacing in his mind. The Pagoda Evolution Path, a sixth-rank evolution path, originated from a high-grade life planet called Pagoda Star. This evolution path, precisely the one Lin Yuan chose for the tournament. Truly profound. Lin Yuan comprehended the evolution path. Your Against Heaven's understanding is refining the understanding of the Pagoda Evolution Path, continuously perfecting the martial path evolutionary path. Your Against Heaven's understanding is refining the understanding of the Pagoda Evolution Path, continuously perfecting the martial path evolutionary path. Your Against Heaven's understanding is refining the understanding of the Pagoda Evolution Path, continuously perfecting the martial path evolutionary path. With his Against Heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan was progressing every moment, exploring other advanced evolution paths, significantly speeding up the process. What a pity, even with such a splendid evolution path, there's still no surpassing the 6th rank limit, Lin Yuan sighed. From 6th rank to 7th rank is a huge bottleneck, a huge shackling. The same goes for evolvers and evolution paths, forget it. Let's go outside, take a walk, and clear my mind. Lin Yuan stood up and left the underground training ground, planning to stroll through the garden at Shueiyue Residential Complex. As a high-end luxury residential area, the garden at Shueiyue Residential Complex was planted with seasonal flowers year-round, delighting the eyes of those who walked through it. Since it was early morning, the garden was relatively empty, which made it feel more intimate. Suddenly, a beautiful woman approached from the opposite direction. She seemed to be a resident of Shueiyue Residential Complex too. Lin Yuan felt as if he was being watched, so he couldn't help but take several more looks at the beautiful woman. One look. Another look. Yet another look. Lin Yuan even stopped walking and stared at the beautiful woman's retreating figure. Typical of men. Although the beautiful woman didn't look back, she felt Lin Yuan's gaze on her. She had deliberately encountered him during this time to make a few appearances in front of Lin Yuan. Her race practiced a special charm technique that could naturally evoke a favorable impression from the opposite sex. Just now, as she walked by, she had subconsciously deployed this charm technique, and that fourth-rank genius was so bewitched that he stopped in his tracks. This gave the beautiful woman even more confidence in her next actions. Wearing down the fighting spirit of these young human geniuses was the best way to defeat them. It was much easier than directly assassinating them, and also gave her a greater sense of achievement. Your understanding is against heaven. You have observed an unknown life form and comprehended an unknown charm technique. Unknown charm technique? Lin Yuan thought for a while and immediately realized that this charm technique was not something the human race could perform. If it's not a charm technique that the human race can perform, how did that woman use it? Lin Yuan was puzzled. He could affirm that the beautiful woman had used this unknown charm technique when she passed him by. Otherwise, his against heaven's understanding wouldn't have perceived and completely understood it. When in doubt, consult the goddess. Lin Yuan didn't bother to think further and, once he returned to his residence, directly connected with the goddess of wisdom. He uploaded this unknown charm technique there. In no time, he received a reply from the goddess of wisdom. Respected citizen Lin Yuan, this charm technique comes from the floral deity race, a high-level charm technique formed by leveraging the race's special talents inherent in their bloodlines, combined with secret techniques, capable of beguiling the mind, the goddess of wisdom explained clearly. Floral deity race? Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. This species, a plant-based life form, was one of the enemies of the human races. Because they were adept at camouflage and familiar with bewitching minds, they often infiltrated human civilization, acting as covert spies. That woman must be from a different species, the floral deity race. Lin Yuan thought of the beautiful woman he had just encountered in the garden. With so many life planets in the Cosmic Human Alliance and many high-end residential areas, this different species appearing near Lin Yuan was likely targeting him. Is it because of the exposure from the arena match? Lin Yuan silently pondered. In the arena match, displaying fourth-rank combat power was a decision Lin Yuan had made after consulting the goddess of wisdom. The explanation from the goddess of wisdom was that while a fourth-rank human genius under 100 years old would attract the attention of different species, it was only attention and would not lead to assassination list. At most, he would face attempts to corrupt or sway him, but as long as Lin Yuan was prepared, nothing would happen. And displaying fourth-rank combat power could possibly catch the Chikuan Star-Lord's attention, potentially bringing great opportunities and benefits. The risk was small. The opportunity was great. Taking everything into consideration, Lin Yuan had chosen to reveal his strength and overwhelmingly dominate the past. I've actually discovered a different species. Lin Yuan's thoughts churned. Well utilized, this different species could bring many benefits to Lin Yuan. For instance, by following the traces of this different species, more of them might be revealed. And since different species infiltrating human civilization would certainly carry many treasures, Lin Yuan fishing in troubled waters would certainly yield some results. Forget it. No need to mix up with these rats from the gutter. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment and directly connected with the goddess of wisdom. Goddess of wisdom, I have something to report. Chapter 102. Why did you take me away when I did nothing? The Cosmic Human Alliance as well as the 3 digital goddesses, all encouraged citizens to report. The reporting here includes anything: unfair officials, discovering other citizens committing crimes, corporate tax evasion, different species information, and so forth. And it wasn't a report without compensation. Afterwards, the goddess would determine the impact of the report and then provide rewards. The rewards included cash, positions, cosmic rare treasures, starry sea spiritual objects, merit points, and so on. As for the method of reporting, it was extremely simple, with no need for any complex procedures. One could connect directly with the goddess of wisdom. Theoretically speaking, even a first-class citizen had the power and ability to report a planetary governor. Of course, the goddess supported reporting but did not support reckless reporting. If the investigation afterwards found that the report was completely fictitious and fabricated, it would lower the citizen's evaluation in the eyes of the goddess. If this citizen insisted on their report, then they could release their privacy permissions, allowing specifically illusionary realm evolvers to review their memories. Lin Yuan reporting that beautiful woman as a member of a different species to the goddess of wisdom was the most trouble-free method. With his current status, there was absolutely no need to have any contact with those shady different species. He simply left it to the goddess of wisdom to handle. He would also receive a reporting reward. Citizen Lin Yuan, please speak. Upon hearing Lin Yuan wanted to report, the voice of the goddess of wisdom became slightly more solemn. I was out for a walk just now and encountered a woman. I think she might be from a different species. Lin Yuan did not explain the real reason for his suspicion, nor did he list any evidence. This would involve his against heaven's understanding. Moreover, With Lin Yuan's current citizen rank, even if he were talking nonsense, the goddess of wisdom would still investigate several times. Furthermore, that beautiful woman truly was from a different species. How could she withstand such scrutiny from the goddess of wisdom? Is this the person citizen Lin Yuan is referring to? In front of Lin Yuan, an ethereal screen appeared, showing a video of Lin Yuan walking in the garden from earlier. A tall, beautiful woman walked past Lin Yuan in the footage. The video zoomed in and paused, focusing on the tall, beautiful woman. It is her. Lin Yuan nodded. No sooner had the words left his mouth, than all information about this beautiful woman, from her birth till now, including generations of her ancestors, was pulled up. Name, Yao Qingqing. Age, 92-year-old. Strength, 2nd layer, 7th rank. Birth planet. After minutes of massive computational power investigation by the goddess of wisdom, a suspicion about this Yao Qingqing soon arose. At the age of 28, she appeared to have been switched. Subsequently, behavior analysis began to diverge from before she turned 28. Suspicion chain closed. Evolvers have been dispatched to capture Yao Qingqing. Since Lin Yuan was the reporter and his citizen rank reached 4th level, the goddess of wisdom did not avoid him. Floral deity race. Just as the goddess of wisdom was taking action, Lin Yuan's mind was flooded with information related to the floral deity race. The floral deity race belonged to the insect race, a member of the Strength of the Insect Race Alliance. For over 2 million years in the Starry Sea era, human civilization spanned all directions, forcing neighboring different species to unite. Among them, the Insect Race Alliance was a coalition of different species headed by the insect race. The strength of the insect race was very strong, by no means weaker than the human race. This group was too united. At the bidding of the hive, all insect race warriors fearlessly faced death. Wherever the swarm passed was a disaster for all life. In the early stages of expansion, human civilization also suffered at the hands of the insect race a few times, but later adapted and mostly gained more victories than losses. A coffee shop outside the Shueiyue residential complex. Yao Qingqing was sitting there, in a good mood. Through the recent contact, she judged that Lin Yuan probably had no resistance against her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stopped to stare at her silhouette. What a pity. It has to be done slowly, otherwise. Yao Qingqing glanced at the nearby Shueiyue residential complex, as she had almost stopped walking and directly approached Lin Yuan just now. This mission should be a sure shot, an accidental meeting a few more times, and I can officially get to know him, then I can firmly grasp this genius human race evolver in my hands. Yao Qingqing mused to herself, her expression involuntarily revealing a hint of self-satisfaction. She had undergone many missions, but such an easy one like the current was rare. Yao Qingqing surmised that mainly because Lin Yuan was too young and inexperienced, which is why he couldn't resist her. To quietly lead a genius of the human race to fall, I wonder what rewards I can obtain. Yao Qingqing thought with a pleased mind. At this moment, most of Yao Qingqing's attention was on the nearby Shueiyue residential complex. Therefore, she did not notice that the coffee shop she was in had become deserted. No staff were to be seen. Yao Qingqing felt suddenly alarmed. She scanned around without leaving any trace. Upon finding not a single person, her face immediately turned ugly. Damn it! How was I discovered? As a seasoned spy, Yao Qingqing never believed in coincidences. When she entered, the coffee shop was still quite crowded, but now it was completely empty, clearly indicating that her whereabouts had been exposed and discovered by human officials. Considering this, Yao Qingqing steadied herself and prepared to leave. For now, Yao Qingqing hoped that human officials were merely suspicious of her, or perhaps had underestimated her strength, so the forces deployed against her wouldn't be substantial. On the surface, Yao Qingqing was a 2nd layer, 7th rank. But in reality, Yao Qingqing had already evolved to 3rd rank, 11th level. Chapter 103 I didn't do anything, and you took me away? _2 As long as Human Alliance officials didn't dispatch a 3rd rank, level 12 evolver, or even a 4th rank evolver, Yao Qingqing still had a chance to escape. However, Yao Qingqing had hardly taken a few steps when a man, whose smile was as bright as the sunshine, walked into the entrance of the coffee shop. Hello. The man smiled at Yao Qingqing. In an instant, Yao Qingqing felt the world spin around her. Is this a 5th rank evolver, or a soul illusion type of the 5th rank? Despair filled Yao Qingqing's heart. A fifth-rank evolver was already considered one of the strongest life forms on the surface, and on a middle-grade life planet like Kanglan Star, there were only about 3 or 4 fifth-rank evolvers. These 3 or 4 individuals held important positions and couldn't easily make a move. And now such a fifth-rank evolver had come looking for her? Moreover, this fifth-rank evolver was of the soul illusion type. In front of such an evolver, Xianxia didn't even possess the ability to kill herself. A mere glance was enough to trap her in an illusion, unable to extricate herself. As her consciousness began to sink, Xianxia's mind was flooded with everything that had happened since her arrival on Kanglan Star. She had come to Kanglan Star under the guise of a business trip. All her actions had been inconspicuous, even when she entered Shuiwei residential complex under the pretext of buying a residence, allowing the staff to take her inside. After accidentally encountering Lin Yuan, she hadn't spoken a single word to him. At most, she just secretly deployed a seductive charm, but this secret technique of the floral deity race could only induce a favorable impression and wouldn't leave any traces. How was she discovered? Could it be that Lin Yuan noticed something unusual about her? Even so, having reported by this human genius, the goddess of wisdom surely wouldn't need a fifth-rank evolver to capture her, right? As her thoughts drifted, Xianxia had already sunk into sleep. Done. At the entrance of the coffee shop, the man whose smile was like sunshine snapped his fingers, and immediately a group of people walked in and carried Xianxia out. Such a small fish. Why did the goddess of wisdom want me to make a move? This fifth-rank evolver was somewhat puzzled. Could it be that she has some other value? After some thought, the man still didn't understand and decided to turn around and leave. Shuiwei Residential Complex. The 32nd house's balcony. Lin Yuan leaned on the balcony, looking into the distance. This mental fluctuation. Lin Yuan was startled. Just then, he had faintly felt an extremely profound mental fluctuation. This mental fluctuation was far beyond the 4th rank. Respected citizen Lin Yuan, we have completed the capture of that different species spy. The solemn and cold voice of the goddess of wisdom came through. Oh! Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. He guessed that the mental fluctuation he just felt must have been during the capture of Xianxia. Is this Xianxia very strong? Lin Yuan asked curiously. Merely based on the mental fluctuation he had remotely sensed, Lin Yuan was certain that the capturer's strength was at least at the 5th rank. From what we can see, she has hidden some of her strength. Her true strength is at the 3rd rank, the goddess of wisdom replied. A 3rd rank of a different species, using a 5th rank evolver? Lin Yuan was astounded. Is the Cosmic Human Alliance now so abundant with powerful beings? Respected citizen Lin Yuan, your importance to humanity justifies this action. The goddess of wisdom responded earnestly. For the goddess of wisdom, Lin Yuan's 4th-level citizenship or his genius talent as a 4th-rank evolver under 100 years old, none of that mattered much. What truly impressed the goddess of wisdom was the martial path evolutionary path that Lin Yuan had created. A martial path evolutionary path, which had a high probability of advancing to the 6th rank. Encountering a member of a different species had instilled a certain sense of crisis in Lin Yuan. Although according to the goddess of wisdom, as long as Lin Yuan did not reveal his identity as the founder of the martial path evolutionary path, a 4th-rank human genius under 100 years old wouldn't be worth the price a different species would pay to target him. At most, it would be a covert seduction and guidance, just like what Xianxia had done. But what if? Lin Yuan was not willing to risk his life on the different species. Move. Move now. Although the Shuiwei residential complex was a high-end area, it was only so for ordinary citizens. For the current Lin Yuan, it clearly was no longer suitable. After winning the individual championship of the ring competition, the officials of Kanglan Star had gifted the top 10 evolvers with a manor each, free of charge. The manor was located at the highest point of the central mainland, right in the core of the Kanglan Star planetary defense system. It could be said that living there, even if a 5th-rank different species came to assassinate him, it would be useless. The moment they made a move, they would be locked on by the planetary defense system, without needing any reaction time. Furthermore, there were specific evolvers patrolling around the manor all the time, making it impossible for outsiders to get in. At his parents' house, Lin Yuan, Lin Shouqing, and Lu Qiong stood outside the house. His sister, Lin Yi, was also there, looking eagerly at the house before her. This was the house the Hua family had gifted, and since Lin Yuan had chosen to move, he naturally planned to bring his parents with him. After all, The residence in central mainland was very spacious, enough to accommodate dozens of people. A moment later, two men in uniform walked over, bowed to Lin Yuan, and then respectfully said, "Mr. Lin, we are here to help you move." "Thank you," Lin Yuan said with a nod and a smile. In fact, there wasn't much to move, mainly the memorable items his parents had accumulated over the past decades. As for other things like furniture and appliances, the manor was already well equipped. "What's the matter? Can't bear to leave?" Lin Yuan glanced at his sister Lin Yi and casually said. "I am a bit reluctant," Lin Yi nodded. Although she hadn't lived here for very long, compared to their old home, this place was undeniably like heaven. "Let's go, the new house will be even better," Lin Yuan said, then turned and sat in the aircraft. From Dongning City to central mainland, it was almost half a planet apart, naturally requiring a spaceship for transportation. Of course, with Lin Yuan's capabilities, he could have flown there himself, but there was no need. Half a day later, the aircraft landed at the highest point of central mainland. "This is your future residence, Manor number 66, said the uniformed man as he walked ahead and introduced. "The entire manor covers 100 acres and includes a main building and 6 auxiliary buildings, and there's a specialized training ground underground. Other areas can also accommodate some orchards and flower gardens." Lin Yuan had already seen videos of the manor beforehand and was not surprised, but his parents and sister couldn't blink their eyes away. Especially his sister Lin Yi, who swept her previous reluctance away and looked around with shining eyes. "This manor, it's bigger than a regular residential area, isn't it?" Lin Shouqing exclaimed. Considering central mainland as the core of Kanglin's star, it wasn't an exaggeration to say that every inch of land was like gold. And yet such a huge manor was built here? This was simply... Lin Yuan walked alongside his parents. This manor was a symbol of status, something that couldn't be bought even with a lot of money. It was specifically reserved by the Kanglin Star government for enticing evolvers like Lin Yuan with boundless potential. Not just Lin Yuan, even the other 9 evolvers who were young but already had 3rd rank capabilities, with good prospects of entering the 4th rank and not without hope for the 5th rank, it would be foolish not to entice them. After moving into the manor, it was undeniable that Lin Yuan would reside in the main building. No matter how modest he tried to be, Lin Shouqing and Lu Qiong wouldn't accept otherwise. His sister Lin Yi, seeing Lin Yuan and their parents arguing, cheekily suggested that neither of them should fight and that she would move into the main building. Resultantly, she was slapped by Lu Qiong and went off to sulk on her own. The next day, Lin Yuan just finished his training. The robotic butler then entered, dragging a half-human height alloy box. "It's the ring match prize." Lin Yuan's spirit was jolted. The ring match had 5 prizes in total, 4 of which were tangible items. Therefore, they couldn't be distributed like the pagoda evolution skill right away. Instead, they were delayed a few days for doorstep delivery. Lin Yuan, after moving to the new manor, updated his new address. Today, the prizes were finally delivered. After verifying his identity, Lin Yuan opened the alloy box before him. First thing to catch his eye was a palm-sized, pitch-black bell. Chapter 104, Chikuan Starlord, Soul-Suppressing Bell. Lin Yuan picked up the small black bell and examined it over and over. Among the 50 prizes for this tournament, the soul-suppressing bell was the most valuable. Soul defense weapons were already extremely rare, and with the soul-suppressing bell reaching 4th rank, it was almost a natural nemesis to 4th rank soul illusion class evolvers. Lin Yuan caressed the small black bell, his mind stirred, and he infused his soul power into it, beginning the refining process. Before long, the soul-suppressing bell vanished and appeared in the sea of consciousness. Not bad at all. He nodded slightly to himself. Among the many evolution paths, the soul illusion type was the most unpredictable and difficult to defend against. Especially soul attacks, which ignored physical defenses and targeted the soul directly. If one didn't have a soul-class defense weapon or a secret technique to protect the soul, one could only bear soul attacks with sheer resilience. Bear it and live. Fail to bear it and die. With the soul-suppressing bell, Lin Yuan's sense of security had greatly increased. Though the martial path evolutionary path had measures to protect the soul, having an extra soul-suppressing bell for protection was naturally a good thing. Moreover, Lin Yuan chose the soul-suppressing bell to use it in combination with the life fruit. If one day Lin Yuan's physical body were shattered, leaving only his soul protected by the soul-suppressing bell, at that time, consuming the life fruit, with its tremendous vitality energy, could rapidly restore Lin Yuan's physical body, akin to having an extra life. Thinking of this, Lin Yuan turned his gaze toward another item. It was a wooden box, and inside was the very life fruit. Lin Yuan picked up the box and gently opened it. In an instant, a terrifying vitality spread outwards in all directions. An intoxicating fragrance filled the air, all of which originated from inside the box, from that infant fist-sized green fruit. I really want to eat it. Lin Yuan swallowed his saliva. Instinct told him that eating this life fruit would be of great benefit. But that was just instinct after all. According to the description of the life fruit, in the period after eating it, every cell of the body would be engulfed by inexhaustible life energy. During that time, no matter what injuries one sustained, they would recover at a terrifying speed. But that was only for that period, after which the effects of the life fruit would dissipate, and everything would revert to its original state. Clap! Lin Yuan immediately closed the wooden box. Keeping the life fruit open to the air would cause its vitality to dissipate at some rate. Lin Yuan glanced around. The rich fragrance that lingered when the box was open was also a manifestation of the life force. I inhale. Lin Yuan took a deep breath. With his constitution, all the air around, including the fragrance emanating from the life fruit, was drawn into his chest. The fragrance was then fully absorbed, the faint vitality lingering around him, giving Lin Yuan a sensation of floating on air. Lin Yuan savored the experience for a moment, then put away the wooden box. Soul-nourishing jade. Lin Yuan picked up the third item. It was a jade pendant, nearly transparent, that when touched to the skin, allowed a slight energy to fuse into the body, nurturing the soul at an incredibly slow rate. Although slow, the effect was continuous. As long as Lin Yuan wore it, it would not cease. Even if he advanced to 5th rank, the effect would only weaken. What a fabulous treasure! Lin Yuan carried the soul-nourishing jade close to his body. Jiuli liquid. Lin Yuan turned his attention to the last item. Jiuli originated from a barbaric wilderness planet. When the Cosmic Human Alliance conquered this planet, they discovered the natives, using some kind of ritual, produced Jiuli holy water which had a good enhancement effect on the physical body. Later, some scholars from human civilization improved it, and thus Jiuli liquid was born. Compared to Jiuli holy water, the effects of Jiuli liquid were much stronger and had no side effects. Lin Yuan picked up the Jiuli liquid. It was a test tube filled with a light silver liquid that looked quite beautiful and dazzling. Jiuli liquid worth 5 billion, and also on limited sale? Not available for purchase by citizens below level 3? Lin Yuan examined it closely. The highest value he had purchased before was only a single fruit worth 7 billion. And one vial of Jiuli liquid could purchase 7 of those fruits. The correct way to use Jiuli liquid is not to swallow it directly or refine it. Instead, it is to be diluted and used to soak the entire body. Lin Yuan went to the bath, adjusted the water level to 2/3 full, then stripped off his clothes and immersed himself. They say that using Jiuli liquid is agonizing, and initially, not everyone on that barbaric wilderness planet could bear the baptism of Jiuli holy water. Lin Yuan opened the tube and slowly poured the silver liquid into the bath. Almost the next second, Lin Yuan felt his skin start to heat up. Is it taking effect? He quickly poured the remaining Jiuli liquid into the bath. Then he closed his eyes and began to slowly register the changes in his body. It started with an intense heat. From the skin to the flesh to the organs to the bones. Layer by layer, the temperature rose steadily. Lin Yuan's expression remained calm. This level of pain was nothing to him. To others, Lin Yuan was just a 20-something-year-old genius evolver. But in reality, Lin Yuan had lived through 3 lifetimes, totaling more than 200 years. Though he was still far younger than the average age among 4th-rank evolvers, adapting to the pain inflicted by Jiuli water was naturally easy for him. Hiss hiss. Chapter 105 Chikuan Star-Lord _2 As the Jiuli liquid continued to be absorbed, Lin Yuan's physique was constantly improving. Streaks of black impurities began to appear on the surface of his skin. Previously, the transformation technique for the flesh Lin Yuan cultivated, from Lulan He, had already metamorphosed his entire body once. However, now the effects of the Jiuli liquid were penetrating deeper, cleansing his flesh once more. Half a day later, Lin Yuan opened his eyes. My body, Lin Yuan felt an astonishing strength within him. is at least 30 to 50% stronger than before I used the Jioli liquid. The flesh is the foundation of everything. A strong body fosters a strong soul. Unfortunately, the Jioli liquid is only useful the first time it's used. After a moment of reflection, Lin Yuan opened his eyes, a tinge of regret on his face. In fact, it wasn't just Jioli liquid. The vast majority of treasures that could greatly strengthen the body or soul came with many restrictions. Effective only upon the first use, it couldn't be more normal. Virtual world. Sparring zone. This area was specifically designed for evolvers to spar with one another. I can't take any more. I can't. Feng Qing's voice trembled, and his body was sent flying backward, spitting out mouthfuls of blood. If this were not in the virtual world, such an event in reality would have left Feng Qing severely injured, requiring months of rest to recover. Brother Lin, you're too powerful. Even when suppressing your strength to a third rank level, I still can't beat you. Feng Qing's injuries rapidly healed as he looked at Lin Yuan and said with a bitter expression. It's okay, try a few more times. Lin Yuan smiled slightly. The reason he was sparring with Feng Qing was entirely because Feng Qing took the initiative to seek him out. Not long after moving to the Central Continent Manor, Feng Qing, who had also relocated there, took the initiative to approach Lin Yuan. Feng Qing's manor was located several dozen miles away from Lin Yuan's manor, essentially making them neighbors. As they went back and forth, they became acquainted and often sparred in the virtual world. Lin Yuan was indeed very willing. The ancient god's evolution path that Feng Qing cultivated was an evolution path surpassing the 6th rank. During the previous scoring competition, Lin Yuan had a moment of insight, but due to the time constraints of the competition, he had to end it hastily. Now that Feng Qing was presenting himself, Lin Yuan saw no reason to refuse. Every time he fought with Feng Qing, Lin Yuan gained something from him. Of course, Feng Qing was completely unaware of this. Not only Feng Qing but even his intelligent life mentor, the white-bearded old man, would never imagine that Lin Yuan's insight was so terrifying. After only a few exchanges, Lin Yuan could almost completely learn his opponent's strengths. They thought Lin Yuan was just a very enthusiastic evolver, actively helping Feng Qing to practice. Okay. Feng Qing seemed to think of something, immediately regained his motivation, and charged at Lin Yuan once again. As he charged, an ancient god phantom faintly appeared, mimicking the same movements behind Feng Qing. Ancient god. Lin Yuan looked at the phantom behind Feng Qing with a slightly solemn expression. Through so many exchanges, Lin Yuan had realized that these so-called ancient gods were also a form of powerful life. This life was so strong that it merged its life marks into the rules of the world. As a result, any creature that cultivated according to the laws it left behind could invoke the power pervading the universe. Of course, to summon an ancient god phantom, there must be a certain degree of similarity with the corresponding ancient god. This threshold doesn't seem high, but it's very difficult to achieve. What kind of existence were the ancient gods? To reach a certain degree of similarity with an ancient god, out of the billions of creatures, there might not even be one. Boom. The ancient god phantom behind Feng Qing raised its right fist, preparing to smash it down. But Lin Yuan grabbed it with his hand and gently crumbled it to dust. What? Feng Qing spit out blood once again and flew backward. No more, I can't fight anymore. Feng Qing was almost in tears. The white-bearded old man once told him that only through constant combat with an opponent could one ultimately overcome them. With that in mind, Feng Qing actively sought out Lin Yuan to try his luck. The result was clear. He simply couldn't win. Not at all. Even when Lin Yuan, seeing Feng Qing's pitiful state, voluntarily offered to reduce his strength and fight at a third-rank realm, he still couldn't win. The two were simply not on the same level. Go and rest well for a while. Come back tomorrow. Lin Yuan's mind was enlightened. Through constant contact with the ancient god phantom, Lin Yuan had already vaguely understood what the essence of the evolution skill that transcended 6th rank was and how it differed from other evolution paths. This was important. Even though Lin Yuan was currently only 4th rank, as the founder who blazed a new evolution path, he needed a broader vision to judge the direction to take next. Other evolvers simply needed to practice according to a complete evolution path and did not need to do so. But Lin Yuan was different. He needed to ascertain the next direction. Rules. Still rules. My direction is not wrong. As for why the potential limit of the evolution path still has no hope of reaching 7th rank, It's because my understanding of the rules is too superficial. Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. The rules of the main world were vast, and the bit of rule essence Lin Yuan had perceived in the divine arms world was insignificant compared to the main world, not even amounting to dust. Elsewhere, Feng Qing also returned to her personal space, her mood heavy. Teacher, do you think I have any chance of surpassing Big Brother Lin, even if we include the very distant future? Feng Qing couldn't help but ask. Whoosh! An old man with white beard appeared, sitting on Feng Qing's shoulder. The white-bearded old man was only the size of a palm, but his face showed an expression of disbelief. A genius, I never thought I'd see the day when I was wrong. The white-bearded old man muttered to himself in wonder. Ah! Feng Qing's face slightly reddened. Idiot, I'm not talking about you. The white-bearded old man glanced at Feng Qing. That Lin Yuan. He's actually touched upon the origin rules. Without guidance from an evolution path beyond 6th rank, to be able to touch the origin rules, such a genius, even an entire star domain might not see many. The white-bearded old man spoke with a tone of amazement. During the ranking match of the competition, Lin Yuan suppressed Feng Qing with the Taiji domain. So the white-bearded old man didn't realize, only feeling that Lin Yuan was rolling over her with the force of 4th rank, bullying the weak. But after those dozens of sparring matches, especially when Lin Yuan suppressed his strength to 3rd rank, the white-bearded old man immediately realized that Lin Yuan had begun to contact the origin rules. With such comprehension, the possibility of stepping into 6th rank in the future was at least 50%, even greater than Feng Qing, who possessed the ancient god evolution skill. Ah! Feng Qing looked utterly confounded. Don't even think about defeating Lin Yuan, it's unrealistic, unless you have some great fortune in the future. With normal development, you have no such hope. The white-bearded old man fell into contemplation. He looked at Feng Qing, then thought of Lin Yuan from just before, and suddenly felt frustrated. All right. Feng Qing shrank his head slightly, somewhat unable to look the white-bearded old man in the eye. He had the feeling that if it were possible to change the inheritor, the white-bearded old man would probably be thinking about how to replace him and choose Lin Yuan right now. In the depths of space, a colossal creature was wandering. It was entirely red and its size was dozens of times that of Kanglin's star. Whoa, where am I? I was just taking a nap. Just then, the colossal creature opened its eyes, and just the irises alone were comparable to half a planet. Whoosh! The colossal creature's form shifted, suddenly beginning to shrink. In the blink of an eye, it transformed into an old man over 2 meters tall. He was dressed in a red robe, standing in the cosmos, with energy fluctuations nearly as powerful as those of a star. Qikuan Star Lord, it's time for you to return. Just then, a solemn and serene voice sounded. Goddess of Wisdom. The man in the red robe, the Qikuan Star Lord, stretched lazily at this point. Right. The competition should be almost over by now. Qikuan Star Lord thought, connecting to the virtual world. Last time, I picked the Nolan star system. This time, let's go with the Dawn star system. I'll see which geniuses have emerged from this competition. As Qikuan Star Lord grumbled, he began to watch. With each passing moment, nearly 100 million matches flashed by. Suddenly, the competition footage froze. Qikuan Star Lord raised his eyebrows. Eh? Chapter 1067 Star Cave. Red Kuan lineage. The cold starry sky shimmered with surprise in the eyes of the Qikuan Star Lord. As a Star Lord, a being surpassing the 6th rank, it was rare for him to display such an emotion. This competition has indeed brought forth quite a number of geniuses, he mused. The match footage in front of the Qikuan Star Lord suddenly froze before splitting into over 100 different screens, each playing a different match video. These 100-some screens corresponded to the over 100 Evolver contestants. These individuals were precisely the geniuses the Qikuan Star Lord referred to. The Dawn star system, one of the 8 major star systems within the Qikuan star domain, boasts 120,000 life planets. Competitions were held on each of these 120,000 life planets, with ranks being assigned. Out of such a vast base of Evolvers, the Qikuan Star Lord selected just over 100, meticulously chosen as one among hundreds of billions. The Qikuan Star Lord's gaze lingered significantly on the first 3 screens. The Evolvers on these 3 screens were a silver-haired woman, a man with a third eye on his forehead, and a burly man wielding a giant hammer. Spatial talent. Indeed a promising seed. observed the Chikuan Star Lord as he watched the battle footage of the silver-haired woman and slightly nodded. I didn't expect a member of the Tri-Eye clan? The Chikuan Star Lord glanced at the three-eyed man. The Tri-Eye clan, a branch of the human race, although a part of the human race, also has different branches, such as being classified into yellow, white, and black people based on skin color. The Tri-Eye clan is an incredibly rare and unusual variant within the human race. So rare that they cannot form a specific family line, because their heritage is not inherited from father to son but awakens randomly. And the odds are frighteningly low. Currently, within the entire Cosmic Human Alliance, the Tri-Eye clan's numbers do not exceed 100,000, scattered across various human territories. Of course, their scarce numbers endow the Tri-Eye clan with extraordinarily strong talents. It is said that the third eye on the forehead of the Tri-Eye clan can see the cosmic rules of operation and unleash a strike far surpassing their own strength. He grasps the basics of the rule of power. Stepping into the 6th rank in the future won't be an issue, the Chikuan Star Lord considered while looking at the burly man with the hammer. According to comparisons with previous competitions, the appearance of one such individual was considered fortunate. This time, the emergence of 3 such individuals was indeed surprising and unexpected for the Chikuan Star Lord. After observing the first 3 evolvers, the Chikuan Star Lord's gaze continued downwards. When he reached the 68th position, the Chikuan Star Lord saw Lin Yuan. 2 extreme attribute rules, that's a difficult path ahead, the Chikuan Star Lord commented before paying no further attention. A difficult path, yes, but only for those below the 6th rank. In his mighty view as the Chikuan Star Lord, it was just so. Since this competition has released so many geniuses, it's time to open the 7-star cave trial, he decided. The Chikuan Star Lord thought for a moment, waved his hand, and decreed, these 118 evolvers, the top 3 will be granted chi patterns, the next 115 will receive gold patterns. Additionally, the top 10 from each planet's competition will all receive silver patterns. All will enter the 7-star cave. Central Continent Manor. Lin Yuan had just finished training and was connecting to the virtual world, intending to seek out Feng Qing for a spar to explore the ancient god evolution path. Suddenly, a prompt appeared before him. You will soon enter the 7-star cave world. Please prepare yourself. 5, 4, 3. The countdown began. Lin Yuan looked astonished. This was the first time he encountered, within the virtual world, being forcefully pulled over without his consent. There wasn't even an option to refuse. The next moment, the countdown ended. Lin Yuan's surroundings shifted, bringing him to a massive white jade plaza. At this moment, Lin Yuan could only see the scenery a few meters around him, with the farther surroundings shrouded in layers of hazy fog. Please adjust your appearance, body shape. A mechanical-like voice echoed in his ears. Is it to hide my identity? Lin Yuan thought to himself, making slight modifications to his appearance and physique, rendering his overall demeanor a bit colder. Once Lin Yuan finished adjusting, the fog around him suddenly dispersed. Lin Yuan looked up and saw that the plaza was scattered with 1,000,000 evolvers. The aura of these evolvers varied, with the least being at the 3rd rank, and many even being at the 4th rank. The patterns on their faces? Lin Yuan distinctly noticed that each evolver had a silver pattern on the side of their faces. Why is mine gold? Lin Yuan touched his own face. Though he couldn't see it with his eyes, at his level of perception, he could intuit every detail about himself. And this 7-star cave world? Lin Yuan looked around the plaza, harboring some guesses in his mind. They must know something. Lin Yuan looked towards a nearby spot where 3 evolvers were gathered, whispering among themselves. Lin Yuan walked over. These 3 evolvers clearly noticed Lin Yuan. Especially when they saw the gold pattern on the side of Lin Yuan's face, their expressions immediately showed fear. Respected Lord Gold Pattern, before Lin Yuan could approach, the leading evolver among the 3 bowed slightly to Lin Yuan. Lord Gold Pattern. Lin Yuan's expression remained unchanged, guessing Gold Pattern referred to the gold pattern on his own face, which meant that gold was more prestigious than silver. At least from the expressions of these 3 evolvers, Lin Yuan could draw such a conclusion. Yes. Lin Yuan replied casually. We 3 are from the IC star. May I ask which star you hail from, Lord Gold Pattern? Moon Spirit Star, Lin Yuan replied offhandedly. Chapter 1077 Star Cave, Red Kuan Lineage _2 Moon Spirit Star. a higher life planet in the Dawn star system, was also the birthplace of the Origin Force evolution path that Lin Yuan had purchased. Moon Spirit Star, I have heard of it, a very powerful planet. I never expected that in this year's arena competition on Moon Spirit Star, a Lord Gold pattern would emerge. In this trial of the 7-star cave, Lord Gold pattern will certainly pass. Through the active flattery of these 3 evolvers, Lin Yuan immediately understood the purpose of the 7-star cave world. A trial by the Qikuan Star Lord? Lin Yuan thought to himself. As the arena competition moved toward its latter stages, Lin Yuan had realized that the top 10 competitors might eventually catch the attention of the Qikuan Star Lord. Even the Goddess of Wisdom had been subtly hinting to Lin Yuan to seize this opportunity. In the global top 10 contest, Lin Yuan erupted with 4th rank power, also displaying his talent. Initially, Lin Yuan had thought that at most he would receive some kind of reward from the Qikuan Star Lord. The 7-star cave world is a virtual world specially created by the Qikuan Star Lord to test geniuses. As long as one conquers the 7-star caves, they are eligible to enter the Red Kuan lineage. Of course, before entering the 7-star cave world, the Qikuan Star Lord will grant red pattern, gold pattern, and silver pattern marks based on each evolver's performance in the arena competition. The highest status is the red pattern. Evolvers who receive the red pattern are generally limitless in potential, the future seeds of 6th rank. Although the gold pattern is not as prestigious as the red pattern, its bearers are also unparalleled geniuses. A star domain can produce only a few, and they are very likely to advance to 6th rank in the future. As for the silver pattern, these are given to the top 10 of each planet's arena competition. Although these silver pattern evolvers are the stars watched by everyone on their respective planets, here, they seem quite ordinary. Who here isn't such an entity? The Red Kuan lineage. Lin Yuan's eyes heated slightly. Undoubtedly, the Red Kuan lineage was the strongest force in the entire Qikuan star domain, and the Qikuan Star Lord was a being that surpassed the fallen star level. If Lin Yuan could join such a force, it would greatly benefit his own growth. Not to mention other advantages. Just the safety aspect would allow Lin Yuan to not worry for a long time into the future. Moreover, if he could come into close contact with an existence like the Qikuan Star Lord and receive guidance, for Lin Yuan, the effect would be far greater than solitary contemplation. Against Heaven's understanding was especially adept at this. Just how to get through the 7-star caves. Lin Yuan fell into thought. To know how to get through the 7-star caves, he needed to know the specifics. For instance, through what method should one advance? Knowing the content of the challenge in advance would naturally amplify his advantage. Although Lin Yuan currently possessed 4th rank strength and had begun to perceive many rules, he did not underestimate the other evolvers at all. Not to mention those evolvers of the same gold pattern. Above gold pattern, there was still red pattern. An existence like the Qikuan Star Lord, having designated him a gold pattern, surely did not think he met the standard of the red pattern yet. That is to say, red pattern evolvers were stronger than Lin Yuan as he was now. While Lin Yuan was pondering, upon the vast white jade plaza, a majestic virtual shadow suddenly emerged. In 24 hours, the 7-star cave trial will officially begin. Friendly reminder, the 7-star cave trial consists of 7 stages, and passing through the 7-star caves indicates success. Finally, the trial process must not be disclosed, or there will be penalties from the Cosmic Human Alliance and the Star Lord. Having said this, the majestic virtual shadow disappeared. Not allowed to disclose the trial process? Lin Yuan frowned slightly. They were required to do so, and past evolvers who came to the 7-star cave world would certainly have been bound by this restriction. This meant that obtaining information about the trials would be significantly more difficult. Because the barrier to information was higher, there would be fewer who knew, and consequently, obtaining relevant information would become harder. Perhaps those evolvers from large forces with strong backing knew the content of the trial, but they certainly wouldn't just tell Lin Yuan for no reason. Hello, I come from the Morning Star. A short-haired man approached. The pattern on his cheek, just like Lin Yuan's, was golden. Morning Star. Lin Yuan took another look at the man. Morning Star, the main planet of the Dawn star system, was the most prosperous area of the entire star system, and it was also the place with the most high-rank evolvers, even including 6th-rank fallen star warriors. Moon Spirit Star. Lin Yuan nodded. Shall we exchange information? The short-haired man suddenly lowered his voice. Being acknowledged as a gold pattern evolver by the Chikuan Starlord meant almost certainly beginning to contact the origin rule as a supreme genius. Such a genius likely had the backing of a powerful force behind him. Although the trial of the seven-star cave world was strictly not to be disclosed, for large forces, there were many ways to circumvent the rules, simply at a cost. You go first. Upon hearing this, Lin Yuan immediately thought of a plan to benefit from the situation. After all, even if he could not produce any information, the other party couldn't really do anything to him. Which of the 7-star caves is the toughest? The short-haired man wasn't foolish and decided to probe with a question first. Which one? Lin Yuan's expression remained unchanged. He didn't know, so how could he determine which one? The 7th cave, Lin Yuan said confidently. Based on Lin Yuan's past experiences, it was highly probable that the last challenge was the toughest. You're lying to me. The short-haired man turned and walked away. Lin Yuan was not without gains. At the very least, he now knew that the toughest of the 7-star caves wasn't the 7th. Chapter 108 7-Star Cave, Red Kuan Lineage _ 3. Is the first challenge the hardest? Lin Yuan pondered. This did not align with the typical logic of passing stages. What if the first challenge eliminated everyone? Soon, another gold pattern evolver approached. The first challenge is the hardest, Lin Yuan replied. You lack sincerity, the gold pattern evolver shook his head, giving Lin Yuan a strange look, then turned and walked away. Next, several more gold pattern evolvers tried to exchange information with Lin Yuan. Evolver capable of appearing in the 7-star cave world were at least 3rd rank. There was definitely no problem with their intelligence, and they would not let Lin Yuan freeload the challenge details. Honorable Lord Gold Pattern, a silver pattern evolver with a side profile walked in. I know the information about the 7-star cave challenges and am willing to divulge it without any compensation, the silver pattern evolver said directly. Having observed Lin Yuan for a long time at his side, he confirmed that Lin Yuan knew very little about the 7-star cave. What are the conditions? Lin Yuan asked calmly. I hope Lord Gold Pattern will do 3 things for me when entering the trial ground, the silver pattern evolver stated. What 3 things? Lin Yuan looked at the other, inquiring. I don't know that, the silver pattern evolver shook his head. The 7-star cave trials are ever-changing, and no one knows before the trials begin. Then forget it. Lin Yuan shook his head in refusal. This request was too broad. What if the other party asked Lin Yuan to kill a red pattern evolver or to give up his chance to pass? To give it or not to give it? Really not interested? The 7-star cave challenge information is invaluable. If you know it beforehand and prepare accordingly, your chance of passing will greatly increase. The silver pattern evolver saw Lin Yuan refuse, slightly disappointed, but did not give up. Unless you first specify what those tasks are, Lin Yuan said again. I will only know once I go in. The silver pattern evolver, seeing Lin Yuan was uncompromising, could only leave regretfully. After being approached by several evolvers wanting to bargain with sky-high demands for the challenge information, Lin Yuan simply disconnected from the virtual world and returned to reality. Central Continent Manor, main building's underground training field. Lin Yuan rubbed his temples, lost in brief thought. Information is crucial, Lin Yuan was well aware. This is much like an exam. One person gets the answers beforehand while another has to rely solely on their wits. The situations they face are naturally different. Even the matter of the 7-star cave could present an even greater disparity than not having the answers. If it were just the answers, with Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, even without the answers, he could still score full marks. But in the trials of the 7-star cave, if other evolvers took advantage of the information to deliberately trap or set up Lin Yuan, a slight mistake could mean direct elimination. Ask the Goddess of Wisdom. Lin Yuan began connecting to the Goddess of Wisdom. Given the Goddess of Wisdom's status in the Cosmic Human Alliance, she definitely knew the contents of the 7-star cave trial. But it was a matter of whether she was willing to divulge it. Citizen Lin Yuan, your authority is insufficient. The Goddess of Wisdom's solemn, cool voice came. This was not unexpected for Lin Yuan. The rules of the 7-star cave trial prohibited the passing of the trial process. Otherwise, it would result in punishment by the Human Alliance and the Starlord. The punishment from the Human Alliance here was crucial, implying that divulging such information would violate Alliance law. In such cases, the Goddess of Wisdom would definitely not inform. After all, one of the foundational operations of the three great goddesses was based on alliance law. Never mind. Even without the information, I can still get through the 7 caves, Lin Yuan sighed, already planning to give up. A few evolvers were aware of the 7-star cave challenge information, something the Chiquan Starlord was definitely aware of, yet it was not prevented. Clearly, it was believed that even without prior information, there was still a possibility to get through the 7 caves. Strength is the foundation of everything. Lin Yuan closed his eyes and continued his cultivation. Meanwhile, outside the manor number 66 where Lin Yuan was located, a guest had arrived. The guest was none other than Feng Qing. At the moment, Feng Qing looked numb. The continuous roaring of the old man with the white beard echoed in his ears. You fool, you're not as strong as Lin Yuan, not to mention far behind in aptitude. At this time, if you're not thinking about making friends with him, what are you waiting for? The 7-star cave challenge information was specially prepared by the master when he was alive. Aren't you going to deliver it to Lin Yuan right now? Delay any longer and by the time Lin Yuan gets the information, won't your delivery be too late? The relentless urging of the old man with the white beard persisted. Chapter 109, Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan, Subscription Request, Central Continent Manor. Main building, 3rd floor. Lin Yuan and Feng Qing sat facing each other. Brother Lin, I learned some information about the 7-star cave trial ahead of time and thought to share it with you, Feng Qing said without any delay. The roar of the bearded old man still echoed in his ears. Feng Qing was not willing to endure that torment again. Oh! Lin Yuan was slightly moved. The 7-star cave trial by the Chiquan Starlord, and its related information, was blocked by the Cosmic Human Alliance and the Chiquan Starlord himself. Under such conditions, an evolver who could still know such information. None was without an extraordinary background, and behind them stood at least a towering figure from a high-level life planet, firmly in control of a region. Or it was a major force stationed by a 6th-rank fallen star. As a middle-grade life planet, Kanglan Star fundamentally lacked the conditions to birth such a force. It seems the speculation is true. Lin Yuan looked serious as he faced Feng Qing. During the arena competition, someone had collected information on the top 50 evolvers. The conjecture about Feng Qing was that he had likely received a great opportunity and inherited something from a powerful evolver. Later, when Feng Qing revealed the techniques of the ancient god evolution path, it further proved this conjecture. The ancient god evolution path involves cultivating with reference to a powerful ancient god from the depths of the starry skies. Without extremely detailed guidance, cultivators could easily neglect and become contaminated by the ancient god, thus becoming a servant or even a puppet incarnation of this ancient god. For those powerful beings, a glance or a thought was enough to destroy countless lower-level lives. The Cosmic Human Alliance does not include the ancient god evolution path among the publicized paths because the risks of cultivation are too great. With other evolution paths, at worst you die if you fail in cultivation. But with the ancient god evolution path, any mishap directly makes you an incarnation for the ancient god. Of course, the human civilization of the universe merely prohibits the widespread dissemination of the ancient god evolution path. It doesn't completely eradicate it. The reason being, many ancient gods in the depths of the starry skies have either perished or disappeared over the long course of history. Cultivating the ancient god evolution path carries certain risks but also potentially allows one to inherit the authority and everything of that ancient god. In short, since Feng Qing dares to cultivate the ancient god evolution path, he must possess detailed guidance for this path, and perhaps even a dedicated intelligent life form constantly correcting any issues during his cultivation. But I know nothing about the test in the 7-star cave. Feng Qing came to share information, and logically, Lin Yuan should share information with him, so he had to make excuses. No worries. We are both from Kanglan Star, and we should help each other. Feng Qing waved his hand, stating that information could be considered priceless or worthless since it doesn't require any follow-up costs. However, before we talk, Brother Lin, please let the Goddess of Wisdom stop monitoring, as information about the 7-star cave is explicitly forbidden by the Alliance. Feng Qing seemed reminded of something and hurriedly spoke. This manor was Lin Yuan's territory, so only he had the privacy rights to dismiss the Goddess of Wisdom. All right. Lin Yuan nodded, then connected with the Goddess of Wisdom to make her temporarily ignore what was happening here. Having done all this, Feng Qing started to talk about the information concerning the 7-star cave trial. Actually, the 7-star cave trial rarely occurs. It generally opens only when the Chicoan Star Lord is in a good mood, said Feng Qing wistfully. The Chicoan star domain has 8 major star systems. After each arena competition, the Chicoan Star Lord selects one star system and tests the top 10 from each life planet within it. The majority of the trials are standard affairs, just to fulfill the requirements of the Cosmic Human Alliance. Only when a true genius appears do they consider opening the 7-star cave. But this is also our opportunity. Once the 7-star cave trial begins, the 12 disciples of the Chicoan Star Lord will start paying attention. Just by passing through the 7 caves, you have a chance to be accepted as a disciple of one of these 12. Feng Qing paused briefly before continuing. Don't underestimate these 12 disciples. The weakest among them are at the 6th rank fallen star level, and the strongest 2 or 3 have even surpassed the 6th rank. Surpassed the 6th rank. Lin Yuan was slightly shaken. Let alone surpassing the 6th rank, even a 6th rank was still quite far away for him. According to Lin Yuan's estimate, he would need 2 to 3 more shifts around a few hundred years to break through to the 6th rank. Of course, these few hundred years referred to time spent traveling to other worlds. The passing of time in the main world should not be very long. Even so, to the current Lin Yuan, the 6th rank fallen star level was still something to look up to. So during the trial, you must try your hardest to show your best, because every action of everyone is being watched by those 12 disciples. Even if you fail the 7-star cave trial, as long as you impress those 12, you can still join the Red Kuan lineage. Feng Qing spoke in a lowered voice. This information was so confidential that many fallen star level forces were not aware of it. It was a closely guarded secret. Even his teacher had spent a lot of effort to find it out during his lifetime. I see. Lin Yuan nodded slightly, and firmly memorized it. But so far, we haven't talked about the content of the trial. Realizing something, Feng Qing grinned and said, Actually, the trial of the 7-star cave is not complicated. It consists of 7 caves. Chapter 110 Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan, subscribe please. _2, every star cave is a test. As for the specific content of the test, it constantly changes, but in summary, it is a test of the physical body, speed, willpower, soul, and wisdom. Feng Qing spoke. I see. Lin Yuan suddenly understood. No wonder the other evolvers who took the test asked him which star cave was the most difficult. Whether Lin Yuan answered that the 1st star cave was the hardest, or the 7th star cave was the hardest, both answers were wrong. In reality, which star cave is the most difficult and which is the simplest is entirely subjective. For example, if an evolver excels in speed, then the star cave that tests speed would be the simplest for him. If an evolver's soul is the weakest, then the star cave that tests the soul would be the hardest for him. So the specific answer to this question is, there is no hardest or weakest. However, in my view, what the Chicoan Star Lord values the most in evolvers is their wisdom. As for the other aspects, talent, bloodline, and so on, these can only determine one's lower limit. To truly reach the peak, to step into the 6th rank, to surpass the 6th rank, wisdom is the most important, Feng Qing said earnestly. This statement wasn't actually his own. It came from his teacher who had already perished long ago. That's because the Chicoan Star Lord himself possesses one of the most peak bloodlines in the cosmic starry sky, Lin Yuan said with a smile. There were many rumors related to the Chicoan Star Lord, the main one being that when he was at the 5th rank, he explored unknown star domains in a battleship and randomly discovered a planet. The creatures on this planet had already gone extinct, and even the planet itself was about to be devoured. The reason was that this planet had become a breeding ground for a special life form, the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan. The Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan is one of the most powerful special life forms in the universe, extremely rare, with adults being at the 6th rank and as large as a normal planet. Generally speaking, when an adult Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan is about to have offspring, it will choose a planet and inject the offspring, still in their eggs, into the core of the planet. It uses the geothermal heat for incubation. During this period, the larva of the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan begins to slowly devour all the energy of the planet. By the time the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan is close to adulthood, the planet would have been essentially devoured. At that time, the Chicoan Star Lord who was at the 5th rank discovered a planet being slowly devoured by the larva of a Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan. However, it must have been the early stage of the devouring process, as the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan larva only had a vague consciousness and acted on instinct. Realizing this, the Chicoan Star Lord immediately knew an opportunity had come. In the vast universe, with countless planets, encountering a planet incubating a starry sky wanderer Kuan larva was a probability less than 1 in a trillion. Once he confirmed his suspicion, the Chikuan Starlord immediately used the seizure secret technique of the Cosmic Human Alliance to take over the body of that starry sky wanderer Kuan larva. This special life form can be called the favorite of the cosmic starry skies, reaching the 6th rank upon maturity, and moreover, it is at the peak within the 6th rank, with its size evident. Comparable to the size of a regular planet, how much energy does it contain? It would probably be enough to make a regular 6th rank fallen star warrior despair. The Chikuan Star Lord became known as Chikuan because his true form was a starry sky wanderer Kuan. Of course, after seizing the starry sky wanderer Kuan, the Chikuan Star Lord secretly cultivated for thousands of years, successfully broke through the 6th rank, stepped into the 7th rank, and then returned to the Cosmic Human Alliance. It was then confirmed by the powerhouses of the Cosmic Human Alliance that the soul of the Chikuan Star Lord was from the human race, not a different species in disguise, which allowed him to firmly establish himself among the human race. All in all, the experience of the Chikuan Star Lord was like he had cheated his way through life. That's the starry sky wanderer Kuan, the peak bloodline of the universe, and the lower limit is the goal that countless members of the human race look up to for their whole lives. There's some truth to that. Feng Qing was stunned, then nodded in agreement. Compared to the Chikuan Star Lord, his own adventures were nothing at all. By the way, when you first entered the 7-star cave world, did you change your appearance or body shape? Feng Qing looked at Lin Yuan, his tone showing concern. I changed it, Lin Yuan nodded. When he heard this prompt, Lin Yuan took the initiative to change. After all, it wasn't a waste of anything, so there was no need not to listen. That's good. Feng Qing breathed a sigh of relief. For the 7-star cave test, although we are not competing against each other, it's still best not to expose our real identities, Feng Qing explained. After all, the video of the arena match will be broadcasted far and wide. If by any chance we encounter some lunatic with hostility towards us who is also participating in the test, it could be troublesome. This kind of trouble comes without cause, so it's best to change one's appearance and stature, keeping everyone unrecognizable, and if no one interferes with each other's interests, they are unlikely to take action easily. After informing Lin Yuan about all the information on the 7-star cave test, Feng Qing didn't ask further, nor did he probe into what Lin Yuan looked like in the 7-star cave world. He then got up and left. After all, if Lin Yuan knew what Feng Qing looked like, would he help or not if Feng Qing encountered any trouble during the test period? Feng Qing proactively informed Lin Yuan of this information, which was entirely a kind of investment. If she inquired about Lin Yuan's appearance after the fact, it would seem like she was using a favor to gain something in return. Returning to his estate, Feng Qing connected to the virtual world, appearing within his personal space. Whoosh! A palm-sized white-bearded old man appeared on Feng Qing's shoulder. Not bad. The white-bearded old man nodded and praised. That Lin Yuan, there's a high possibility he'll be a 6th-rank fallen star warrior in the future. By taking the initiative to provide information when he needed it, you should have made a connection with him. The white-bearded old man said with satisfaction. The strong are lonely, but they also flock together. In the vast and boundless cosmos, the strongest are never individuals, but the human race, the insect race, and many other peak clans. It is these clans that occupy the most fertile territories of the universe, continuously nurturing countless strong beings. The white-bearded old man's former master, the one who passed down the ancient god evolution path heritage, was a naturally reclusive person, which resulted in not having a single friend come forward when he was being hunted by enemies. That was why the white-bearded old man strongly encouraged Feng Qing to make every effort to form ties with Lin Yuan. I wonder how many star caves Big Brother Lin will be able to get through, Feng Qing said with a tone of curiosity. If my guess is correct, with your Big Brother Lin's talent and identity in the 7-star cave world, he should be marked with a gold stripe. The white-bearded old man glanced at Feng Qing. Gold stripe. Feng Qing took a deep breath, understanding that a gold stripe was not only a matter of identity but also recognition from the Chikuan Starlord. Getting through the 7-star caves shouldn't be a problem. For your Big Brother Lin, what's important is choosing which disciple of Chikuan Starlord to follow. The white-bearded old man spoke up. Even among the 12 disciples of Chikuan Starlord, there is a hierarchy of strength, with the top 3 naturally being the best. They were entities that transcended the 6th rank. The remaining 9 were also not bad, all being of 6th rank fallen star level. If one really had to pick, the top 3 would definitely be better. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 24 hours had gone by. Lin Yuan's mind stirred, and he connected to the virtual world, appearing on White Jade Plaza in the 7-star cave world. At that moment, the plaza was scattered with a large number of evolvers. These evolvers were either standing alone or gathering in pairs and small groups. Most of the evolvers, unaware of the content of the test, would subconsciously stick together. Just then, a towering figure appeared. He looked down at the many evolvers and declared in a booming voice, "Time is up, I assume everyone is almost ready. Next, I will repeat the rules of the 7-star cave test. The 7-star cave test is divided into 7-star caves. Your goal is to pass through these 7-star caves. Each person can spend up to a month in each star cave. If you still haven't passed after a month, you will be considered a failure. If you die during the attempt, that too will be deemed a failure." After the towering figure finished speaking, he waved his hand, and over 1,000,000 evolvers on the White Jade Plaza quickly disappeared. At the same time, in a mysterious space in the 7-star cave world, 12 figures appeared. These 12 figures were seated in 2 places. The 3 figures were higher up, while the 9 figures were seated further down. Based on the aura and pressure, it was evident that the 3 figures above were superior to the 9 figures below. These 12 figures were naturally the 12 disciples of the Qikuan Star Lord. At the start of every 7-star cave test, they would each send a sliver of their consciousness to choose their disciples. Chapter 111, The First Star Cave, subscribe please. The teacher has finally opened up the 7-star cave world. When was the last time the teacher opened up the 7-star cave world? I remember it was 300 years ago. The 12 silhouettes were chatting with each other, all appearing quite leisurely. Normally, these fellow disciples each had their own business to attend to, and it was rare for them to gather together like this. This time's test has produced quite a few promising candidates, or else the teacher wouldn't have opened the 7-star cave world. They say there's a member of the Tri-Eye human clan. If the eldest senior and the second and third seniors aren't interested, then I'll reserve that Tri-Eye human in advance. The Tri-Eye clan holds a special status within the human alliance. To take a disciple from the Tri-Eye clan is equivalent to forming a connection with other higher-rank members of their race. I want to compete for it too. The 12 silhouettes all began to speak. There were few Tri-Eye clan members, but their talents were extremely powerful. At present, the number of the Tri-Eye clan within human civilization didn't exceed 100,000. And they were scattered across various territories. Therefore, even without direct bloodline connections, there was a peculiar sense of closeness between members of the Tri-Eye clan. It was like meeting fellow countrymen in a foreign land. With the aptitude of the Tri-Eye clan, it was easy for them to produce high-rank evolvers. Taking in a disciple from the Tri-Eye clan was akin to establishing relations with these high-rank evolvers. It would make anything in the future negotiable. Of course, even without this relationship, the 12 silhouettes would still be very keen to take them in as disciples. After all, their qualification was evident. A member of the Tri-Eye clan with careful cultivation could easily step into the 6th rank. I'm not interested in the Tri-Eye clan, but that Yinling is mine. At this moment, the foremost figure among them slowly spoke up. Yinling was the woman with silver hair. The Qikuan Star Lord had commented that her space talent was not bad, one of the 3 red patterns, the number 1 existence among the hundreds of thousands of evolvers this time. Since the eldest senior has spoken, then she's yours. Yinling has considerable space talent. Only our eldest senior is capable of cultivating her. Indeed. Having said that, the remaining 11 silhouettes began to discuss other evolvers. Among the hundreds of thousands of evolvers, only the 3 with red patterns and a few with gold patterns were worth their active competition. As for the rest of the evolvers, they would wait until they made it to the 7th star cave. So this is the 1st star cave? Lin Yuan began to observe his surroundings. According to the information provided by Feng Qing, the 1st star cave's test likely pertained to the physical body. Of course it wasn't absolute, but if not the physical body, then it would be the soul or perhaps mental consciousness, insight and so on. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Just as Lin Yuan was observing, one evolver after another was transported over from the White Jade Plaza. Many evolvers looked around nervously. The nearby scenery wasn't complicated, resembling a wilderness, with a black racetrack tens of miles wide in the middle. Once all the evolvers had arrived, that towering figure appeared once again. The trial of the first star cave is very simple. Just walk to the end of this black racetrack. The towering figure raised his hand, pointing to the black racetrack. Within 1 month, as long as you reach the end, you can enter the second star cave. After speaking, the towering figure vanished. Instantly, the venue erupted into a huge commotion. The problem wasn't that the test was too difficult. It was too simple. The black racetrack was tens of miles wide and at most 100 miles long. Therefore, within a month, to walk 100 miles. Even an ordinary citizen could cover 100 miles in just a day or two at most. Let alone the lowest among those present were third-rank evolvers. Reach the end point? Lin Yuan didn't rush into action but stood still and observed. He believed the test wouldn't be so simple, as the elimination rate in the first trial of past 7-star cave challenges was terrifyingly high. Let others go ahead and try first. Lin Yuan was in no hurry. One could stay in each star cave for a month. Even if he lingered here for a month, there would be no impact as long as he entered the second star cave at the last moment. Someone is bound to be too impatient. Lin Yuan's gaze swept over the surroundings. After just a short while, a few of the silver pattern evolvers seemed to get restless. Among the hundreds of thousands of evolvers, the silver pattern evolvers were the most numerous, with the red pattern and gold pattern evolvers combined numbering a little over 100. It was precisely for this reason that the 7-star cave challenge was particularly stimulating for the silver pattern evolvers. Imagine that every silver pattern evolver was among the top 10 existences on their respective planets, esteemed and sought after by many forces. But upon arriving in the 7-star cave world, they found that there were more than 1 million others just like them. This gap between their former and current perception made a minority of the silver pattern evolvers undergo a change in mentality. Someone here wants to see just what's so extraordinary about this 7-star cave challenge. A burly man with a wild appearance strode forward. As this burly man, who exuded a third-rank vibe, stepped out, over 1 million evolvers turned their gaze on him. Damn, this pressure is pretty intense. The burly man began to sweat coldly on his forehead. Knowing that these millions of gazes came from 3rd and 4th rank evolvers was no small matter. Boom. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the burly man stepped onto the black racetrack. Huh. There was a slight change in the burly man's expression. He then took another step. 2 steps. 5 steps. After covering about 100 meters, the burly man finally stopped. It's gravity. As soon as you enter into the area of the black racetrack, you're placed in a gravitational field. The further you go, the stronger the gravity becomes. At this distance, the gravity I'm facing is approximately 5 to 7 times that of a normal planet. The burly man announced openly. He wasn't lying, because the other evolvers would quickly realize the same truth with just a little testing. Chapter 112, The First Star Cave, Request for Subscription, _2, a gravity area? This test is for the physical body? Heh, what a coincidence. My specialty is the physical body. Countless evolvers murmured softly, their eyes on the 100-mile black racetrack, each with a different expression. Merely 100 meters in, and the gravity has reached 5 to 7 times? Near the finish line, won't the gravity reach thousands of times? A gold pattern evolver said thoughtfully. The closer to the finish line of the 100-mile black racetrack, the stronger the gravity. The gravity in the finishing area is at least 3,000 times. Just this fact alone can eliminate 70 to 80% of the evolvers. Another gold pattern evolver glanced at the eager silver pattern evolvers around him and thought silently. For a third-rank evolver, tens or hundreds of times the gravity poses no challenge. But once the number exceeds 1,000, it changes things. The range of gravity's effect extends to the organs and even to the cellular level. If one's physical body is only superficially strong or if their skin is just tough, facing such gravity is practically useless. So it's a test of gravity. Lin Yuan looked contemplative. This indeed is an excellent way to test the physical body. Compared to merely testing for strength or endurance, the challenge of gravity works from the outside in, eliminating many evolvers who rely solely on extreme physical strength. However, the furthest anyone has gone so far is less than a kilometer. I'm not in a hurry yet. Let's see how the gravity intensifies further along. While Lin Yuan was pondering, Over 1,000 evolvers had already voluntarily entered the black racetrack. Dozens of them had reached positions between 7 and 800 meters. And through communication, it was learned that in the 7 to 800 meter area, the gravity had already reached dozens of times. Half an hour later, 90% of the evolvers had stepped onto the black racetrack. Seeing this, Lin Yuan, finding nothing unexpected and confirming that the black racetrack was only influenced by gravity, also stepped onto it. 10 meters. 100 meters. 1,000 meters. 10,000 meters. Unbeknownst to him, Lin Yuan had walked 10,000 meters. This was approximately 1/5 the length of the 100-mile racetrack. Or in other words, 20-mile area. I'm finally starting to feel it. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The cultivation system of the divine arms world, though peculiar, did a fine job in tempering the physical body, from skin refinement to blood refining, organ refinement to bone refinement. One could say it had forged every part of the physical body. Thus, the gravity zone in the black racetrack did not exert much pressure on Lin Yuan. It was only after the first 10,000 meters that Lin Yuan grew slightly more solemn. And the gravity in that first 10,000 meter area had already exceeded 1,000 times. 1,000 times gravity. Enough to instantly crush an ordinary citizen into dust. Ordinary first and second layer evolvers would not last a few seconds under such gravity. To Lin Yuan, however, this was nothing. Up to this moment, he had relied entirely on his corporal body, without resorting to any techniques. Like deploying the Taiji domain. Or secret techniques to temporarily enhance the strength of his physical body, etc. At the 20,000 meter mark of the black racetrack, I was one of the first evolvers to step onto the racetrack, having covered nearly half the length of the black path in several hours. This pace should rank me among the top few dozen, right? Xianxia took a deep breath, stopped, and decided to rest for a bit. As a fourth-rank evolver under 100 years old, Xianxia's strength was unquestionably the strongest on his planet. In both this and all past competitive bouts, there had been very few fourth-rank evolvers. On a middle-grade life planet like Kanglin's star, no fourth rank had appeared in tens of thousands of years. Initially, Xianxia was quite confident. He came from a prominent family, familiar with the tests of the Chikuan Star-Lord and the 7-star cave tests. But in the end, when he was drawn into the 7-star cave world, Xianxia was unexpectedly given a silver pattern? The same silver pattern as those third-rank evolvers? This was unacceptable to Xianxia. He did not dare to hope for the highest crimson pattern, but at least a gold pattern should have been within reach. From what Xianxia knew, this time in the 7-star cave tests, all evolvers were within the 3rd and 4th rank. That is to say, those gold and crimson patterns, like him, Xianxia, were 4th-rank evolvers. Being of the same rank, why should they be gold or crimson patterns while he, Xianxia, had only a silver pattern? The starting point does not account for everything. I, Xianxia, will surely pass the 7 caves and join the Red Kuan lineage. Xianxia steadied himself and struggled to move his right foot, intending to continue forward. Just then, Xianxia heard faint footsteps. Is someone coming after us? Xianxia turned around to look. He saw a young man approaching with light and steady steps, as if he were walking toward this side with no hurry at all. If it weren't for Xianxia's certainty about the surrounding gravity having exceeded 2,000 times, he almost thought the young man was strolling in his own garden. How can he do it so effortlessly? Xianxia couldn't believe it. To be fair, Xianxia himself was already finding it tough. Although 2,000 times gravity wasn't his limit, he was far from being able to do it with ease. It's a gold pattern. Xianxia observed a touch of gold on the side of the young man. Is this the golden pattern challenger designated by the Star-Lord? Xianxia quickly thought to himself. Not to mention other aspects, just this young man's performance meant he could completely crush Xianxia in terms of physical prowess. It's terrifying, his speed has not changed from beginning to end. Xianxia took a deep breath. Just as Xianxia was observing Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan also turned his head and glanced at Xianxia. I've seen Lord Gold Pattern. Xianxia immediately turned around, disregarding the terrifying pressure around him, and bowed respectfully to Lin Yuan. There was no choice. The challenge of the first 7-star cave was to reach the black racetrack. That is to say, evolvers just needed to walk over the black racetrack. There was no rule saying they couldn't attack each other. Now, Xianxia used most of his strength to resist gravity. With Lin Yuan maintaining an easy posture, his strength probably wasn't affected much. Under such circumstances, if Xianxia dared to show disrespect, causing Lin Yuan to feel displeased, he could easily knock him out of the competition. This is the power of a golden pattern challenger. Xianxia sighed, and much of his dissatisfaction dissipated. Quite polite. Lin Yuan just glanced at Xianxia and continued moving towards the front. Along the way, Lin Yuan kept overtaking evolvers, who mostly showed surprise and fear upon seeing him, fearing that Lin Yuan might suddenly attack them. Time passed. Soon, Lin Yuan entered the 40,000 meters zone. The entire black racetrack, 5/4 of it had already been walked. The gravity in this area had reached 4,000 times. Still bearable. Lin Yuan's speed remained unchanged, and up to now, he had not used the Taiji field, relying solely on his body to resist gravity. Because Feng Qing once said everything in the 7-Star Cave Challenge would be noticed by the 12 disciples of the Qikuan Star Lord. Since the first 7-Star Cave Challenge was a test of physical body, Lin Yuan would use his body to resist. This way, not only could it potentially enhance his evaluations, but at least it wouldn't decrease them. In the 40,000 meters zone, hardly anyone could be seen. There's someone ahead. Lin Yuan walked a bit further and vaguely saw through the mist ahead, a figure walking, stopping with each step, seemingly adapting. Lin Yuan walked up and glanced at the other person. This was a woman with green hair, radiating some kind of ethereal aura. Moreover, she was also a golden pattern challenger. Hello. Seeing Lin Yuan looking at her, the green-haired woman visibly tensed. The gravity exceeding 4,000 times hadn't forced her to reveal all her cards, but Lin Yuan's condition was clearly better than hers, and it would be troublesome if he suddenly attacked. In other places, you could still run if you couldn't beat them. But on the black racetrack, under the pressure of thousands of times of gravity, one's speed was reduced to the limit. Hello. Lin Yuan nodded. He continued maintaining his pace towards the finish line. Seeing this, the green-haired woman obviously sighed in relief. Several hours later, Lin Yuan smoothly finished the 100-mile racetrack and arrived at the second 7-star cave. Lin Yuan looked around. Chapter 113 Breakthrough, Subscription Request. The second star cave had a style entirely different from that of the first star cave. This seemed to be the interior of a cosmic battleship, with walls formed from silver-white alloy in every direction. Not far away, there was a huge transparent passage. What does this star cave test? Lin Yuan looked to the side, where a giant metal screen stood, displaying the test content. Objective: pass through the transparent passage. Hint 1. Every 10 seconds, the transparent passage will be covered by lasers. Hint 2. The total length of the transparent passage is 40,000 meters. Is the test for speed or defense? Lin Yuan stared at the metal screen, deep in thought. According to the rules of the test, there were 2 ways to pass. One was to traverse the transparent passage before the lasers activated. The lasers activated every 10 seconds, and the transparent passage was 40,000 meters long. That means as long as your speed exceeded 4,000 meters per second, you could smoothly pass through. 4,000 meters per second, which is roughly several times the speed of sound. This tested one's speed. Alternatively, if you were not fast, but your boat's defense could withstand the laser coverage every 10 seconds, passing through the star cave would also be simple. This tested one's defense. Let's see how others manage it. Lin Yuan was unsure if there would be other obstacles in the middle of the passage, so he decided to wait a bit. Thinking this, Lin Yuan glanced at other evolvers nearby. Although Lin Yuan had waited for half an hour before entering the first star cave, his speed in completing the 100-mile black racetrack was not slow. He almost had no breaks throughout, so not many evolvers were ahead of Lin Yuan entering the second star cave. Upon a glance, there were only about 50 or 60 of them. These 50 or 60 evolvers were all golden pattern evolvers. Among them, 3 were red pattern. Red pattern. Lin Yuan withdrew his gaze. In the world of the 7-star cave, evolvers were divided into 3 levels. Red pattern, golden pattern, silver pattern. This classification was based on some standards set by the Qikuan Star Lord. In the first star cave, with an evolver count exceeding 1 million, Lin Yuan only noticed a few golden patterns. As for red patterns, he saw none at all. Now in the second star cave, the number of evolvers had sharply reduced, and even fewer were ahead of Lin Yuan. With the vastness of the universe and the incalculable number of the human race, the emergence of geniuses and freaks is definitely not few. Lin Yuan mused internally. In this competition, although he didn't reveal all his cards, Lin Yuan had displayed most of his strength. Even so, in the eyes of the Qikuan Star Lord, he was only a golden pattern. It could be inferred that those above the golden pattern, the red patterns, definitely had greater potential and aptitude than Lin Yuan. However, Lin Yuan did not belittle himself. Whether it was the door to the myriad realms or against heaven's understanding, both belonged to late-stage talent. They would become more formidable as time passed. Although Lin Yuan was not equal to those 3 red patterns now, given a few more opportunities to traverse, it was uncertain who would be stronger. The 3 red pattern evolvers were a silver-haired woman, a man with a vertical bloodline on his forehead, and a burly man nearly 3 meters tall, carrying a giant axe on his back. These 3 red patterns, each standing in a corner, had no other evolvers approaching them. Mysterious space within the 7-star cave world. 12 figures were leisurely watching the star cave area below. Since no one had arrived at the 3rd star cave yet, everyone's attention was focused on the 2nd star cave. Another golden pattern challenger has arrived. This golden pattern challenger, called Lin Yuan, right? Has he grasped the laws of yin and yang? The gazes of the figures fell on Lin Yuan. As disciples of the great Star Lord, these 12 were not too concerned about ordinary silver pattern challengers. Because the likelihood of silver pattern challengers passing through the 7-star caves was slim, and clearly, being categorized as silver pattern, their potential and aptitude seemed weaker. Of course, in the vast universe, there were those who were mediocre initially but soared later. But the probability was too small. Most were slow at every step. If you're already behind others, how can you dream of surpassing them later? But for golden pattern challengers, they deserved a closer look, as every challenger at this level was considered exceptional. Out of the 120,000 life planets in the Dawn Star system, there were just over 100 golden pattern challengers, almost 1 out of every 1,000 life planets. Ka Wu, you have comprehended the role of light, somewhat similar to this Lin Yuan. Why not recruit him in advance? A deeply voiced figure inquired. I'll watch a bit longer. Ka Wu, being the 10th disciple of the Star Lord and having just stepped into the 6th rank, naturally did not dare to partake when the other figures chose their disciples. However, selecting a disciple was quite significant. It wasn't just about recruiting a disciple and then ignoring them, you also needed to personally guide them and even plan their future training routes based on their evolution path. So, Ka Wu was quite cautious, preferring to abstain rather than just choosing anyone. Let's wait until the 4th star cave and the 7th star cave. After observing for a while, Ka Wu spoke. In the 7-star cave challenges, the 4th star cave and the 7th star cave were the most special. They were difficult yet easy at the same time. Because these 2 caves tested one's intuitive understanding, Ka Wu decided to watch for Lin Yuan's intuitive power before making a decision. 2nd star cave. Lin Yuan's thought was shared by other golden pattern challengers. Even those 3 red pattern evolvers chose not to immediately challenge the transparent passage. Chapter 114, Breakthrough, Request for Subscription. _2 Instead, he patiently waited for other evolvers to go first. Time passed. More and more evolvers passed through the 1st star cave and arrived at the 2nd star cave. Among them were Cui Sita, who Lin Yuan had encountered on the racetrack, as well as the silver-haired woman with the golden pattern. If you're not going, then I'll go first. A thin man stepped forward and walked into the transparent passageway. Since he dared to be the first to break through, the thin man must have had confidence in himself. All one could see was a faint blood-red glow in his eyes, as his whole person shot like a meteor into the transparent passageway. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying sound of air tearing apart echoed in all directions. At least 14 times the speed of sound, Lin Yuan observed carefully. He was also watching for any other changes inside the transparent passageway. With Lin Yuan's speed, and with a burst of effort, he would be faster than the thin man. It was just that he was not sure if there would be any variables inside the transparent passageway, which is why he did not move. Most of the evolvers on the field had the same idea. As Lin Yuan watched closely, Your against heaven's understanding allows you to watch the full power burst of a living being and comprehend the blood-burning art. Ha! A wealth of details about the blood-burning art flooded into Lin Yuan's mind. This secret technique was a way to significantly increase one's own speed by burning one's own blood essence through some special method. That thin man who first stepped into the transparent passageway must have employed this secret technique to boost his speed and improve his chances of getting through. Not bad, Lin Yuan nodded. Although in the Dragon Tiger world, Lin Yuan had roamed the lands and also comprehended a demonic Tao method similar to the blood-burning art. The efficiency in using blood essence and the dangers of using it afterward were far inferior to the blood-burning art he had just comprehended. Whoosh! Under the watchful eyes of many evolvers, the thin man passed through the transparent passageway and disappeared into the second star cave at the 9th second. There are no other variables, the evolvers on the field suddenly realized. After that, a large number of evolvers began to break through the transparent passageway. A muscular evolver, unable to move fast enough, tried to resist the lasers head-on. After all, even without comprehending the space rules, just with a strong body alone, a 4th-rank evolver could ward off most laser weapons. But it was just for an instant. This muscular evolver was reduced to nothingness under the cover of the lasers. This scene made all the remaining evolvers realize the trial of the second star cave was a test of speed. If the speed did not meet the standard, no matter how strong the defense was, it would not be able to withstand the covering fire of lasers. Too many, too many. One by one, the evolvers used their methods, striving with all their might to race through the transparent passageway, which made things difficult for Lin Yuan. Under his against heaven's understanding, numerous comprehensions surged into his mind, and many rare secret techniques and evolution skills were quickly absorbed by Lin Yuan. The evolvers in the 7-star cave world might not have the same talent and understanding as Lin Yuan, but the evolution paths they practiced were certainly the most essential ones on their respective planets. Sizzle. It was at this moment, the silver-haired woman appeared before the transparent passageway. This scene slightly startled all the evolvers present. Many who were just about to enter the transparent passageway stopped in their tracks, not daring to enter with the silver-haired woman. Because this silver-haired woman was one of the 3 red pattern evolvers. Red pattern, recognized by the Chikuan Star Lord as a qualifier. Even if most evolvers did not know how formidable the red pattern was, they would not dare to offend or interfere. With the qualifications of a red pattern, even if they did not pass the trial of the 7-star cave, they would join the Red Kuan lineage afterward. It was as if they were guaranteed a spot. It's her. Lin Yuan looked towards the silver-haired woman, his face showing a look of expectation. He wanted to know which method this red pattern examiner used to get through the transparent passageway. Unlike other evolvers who held a reverent fear in their hearts, Lin Yuan was going to truly benefit from this silver-haired woman's abilities. All that was seen was the silver-haired woman taking just one step. Her figure disappeared from where she stood, reappearing 100 meters away. The next instant, the silver-haired woman disappeared again. Another 100 meters. Merely 5 seconds. The silver-haired woman had traversed the transparent passage that was 40,000 meters long. All the evolvers were stunned, then burst into an uproar. It was indeed an inconceivable scene, crossing 40,000 meters in 4 seconds, which had reached dozens of times the speed of sound. Even more astonishingly, from beginning to end, the silver-haired woman had not emitted any sonic booms, which simply defied the natural laws of physics. It's space. Lin Yuan closed his eyes. Your against heaven's understanding allows you to observe space traversal, deepening your insight into the space. Compared to witnessing the erratic power of space in the cracks while in the divine arms world, Lin Yuan found that the orderly space traversal performed by the silver-haired woman was much easier to comprehend. Space. Lin Yuan directly disconnected from the virtual world and returned to the real world. During the 7-star cave examination period, withdrawing midway was allowed. Of course, the time elapsed in the real world was in sync with the 7-star cave world. If 1 month was spent in the real world, a month would also pass by in the 7-star cave world. If you do not pass through to the next cave within the allowed stay, you would naturally be eliminated. Space. Lin Yuan's eyes faintly glowed silver. Following that, a massive Taiji phantom, tinged with silver, emerged. The Tao of Taiji, with yin and yang as its foundation, goes on to encompass all things under heaven and earth. In the divine arms world, Lin Yuan comprehended many divine weapons and grasped plenty of laws. Yet this did not conflict with the yin-yang Taiji Tao. That was because of the Taiji Dao's characteristic to accommodate everything. Now, having observed the space traversal displayed by the silver-haired woman, Lin Yuan's comprehension of space reached a certain level, which triggered the transformation of the Taiji Dao, naturally as it should be. 4th rank, 10th segment. A moment later, Lin Yuan stood up, his aura experiencing a slight leap. From the 4th rank 9th segment to the 10th segment, although it wasn't a breakthrough of a great realm, it was still a significant bottleneck. Lin Yuan had originally estimated that it would take him at least a few years to cross this barrier, but it arrived much earlier than expected. It must be known that Lin Yuan's breakthrough was different from other evolvers. Other evolvers follow a predefined evolution path, moving on to the next stage. Lin Yuan, however, had no next stage. Every step he took was created from nothingness, carving out a path by sheer force. It seems that the space rules are quite useful for further perfecting the Taiji Dao. Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. Upon reaching the 3rd or 4th rank, one could faintly sense the immense rules between heaven and earth. But sensing them is one thing, comprehending them is another matter. With Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, even after forcibly sensing for so long, his progress had been extremely slow. If it were not for observing the silver-haired woman just now, he might still be stuck at the 4th rank 9th segment for a while. The best way to comprehend certain rules is to study the evolution paths of those rules. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Evolution paths are akin to parsing complex and arcane rules in a way you can understand. Only, evolution paths related to space are extremely rare to come by and prohibitively expensive for Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan aimed to pass the 7-star cave test and join the Red Kuan lineage precisely because he desired access to various evolution paths. The Red Kuan lineage, being the strongest force in the Qikuan star domain, certainly possessed a cultivation system for talents independent of the external world. Joining it, Lin Yuan's growth rate would undoubtedly experience a qualitative change. Granted, with Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, even without joining a force, he could reach an incredibly high level. But how much time would that take? Especially as his strength increased, Lin Yuan would need even more resources. Without the support of a major force, was Lin Yuan expected to earn them himself? Whoosh! A moment later, Lin Yuan reconnected to the virtual world. His figure appeared once more in the 2nd star cave, having broken through from the 4th rank 9th segment to the 10th. Not much time had passed. Upon Lin Yuan's return, the other evolvers were still discussing the silver-haired woman. Seeing this scene, Lin Yuan glanced at the 2 other red pattern evolvers. That is, the man with a bloodline standing on his forehead, and the nearly 3-meter-tall strongman. The silver-haired woman had helped him enhance his comprehension of space. Perhaps, these 2 red pattern evolvers could offer him some assistance as well. Chapter 115, The 5th Star Cave, subscribe please. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Many evolvers entered the transparent passage in succession. Lin Yuan, however, didn't enter but planned to watch a bit longer. After all, opportunities were rare, and it was unusual to witness so many evolvers unleashing their full power at once. Just then, the nearly 3 meters tall, burly man walked up to the transparent passage. His limbs were incredibly thick, and he carried a huge axe on his back, making him resemble a humanoid beast. Boom, boom, boom. With a stomp, the burly man unleashed a terrifying burst of power and charged towards the transparent passage. Terrifying. Such immense strength. Is he really of the human race? Is he not one of those space beasts? The other evolvers were startled and backed away. Even the residual waves of power from the burly man could potentially injure an average 3rd rank evolver. Power. Lin Yuan's gaze intensified. He felt an endless amount of power emanating from the nearly 3-meter-tall burly man. Your extraordinary insight has deepened your understanding of the rule of power. Rule of power? Lin Yuan pondered. Compared to the ubiquitous space rules, the rule of power seemed quite ordinary, but the burly man's deep understanding of it might be why he was listed as one of the 3 red pattern evolvers. I really want to get in close contact with these evolvers, Lin Yuan longed, for to others, red pattern evolvers were untouchable, to be looked up to. But in Lin Yuan's view, every red pattern evolver was a treasure trove waiting to be discovered. There will be more opportunities in the future. As long as I can successfully enter the Red Kuan lineage, why worry about the chance to meet them? Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts. Soon, The man with a red line on his forehead also passed through the transparent passage. Wind. Lin Yuan looked thoughtful. He sensed the fluctuations of wind from the man with a red line on his forehead. His speed through the passage was second only to the silver-haired woman, much faster than the nearly 3-meter-tall burly man. Several hours later, Lin Yuan had watched enough, although other evolvers continued to arrive from the first star cave. But these evolvers didn't offer much help to Lin Yuan. It was better than nothing. Therefore, Lin Yuan didn't want to waste time. Just as Lin Yuan was about to get up, another evolver appeared. This evolver was a young man, and he gave Lin Yuan an inexplicable sense of familiarity. Feng Qing. Lin Yuan immediately recognized the other party. The reason was that Lin Yuan often sparred with him. To better understand the ancient god evolution path, Lin Yuan had more than once deeply sensed the bodily changes in Feng Qing. So even if Feng Qing changed his appearance or transformed his body shape, Lin Yuan recognized him at a glance. Finally got through. Feng Qing arrived at the second star cave and let out a slight sigh of relief. The gravity challenge of the first star cave was quite difficult for him, and he only barely finished the last part of the track by resorting to an ancient god's secret technique. This star cave tests speed? Feng Qing also saw other evolvers pass through the transparent passage and understood the nature of the test. Speed. 10 seconds to reach the end of a 40,000-meter passage? Feng Qing's expression changed slightly. This was more than 10 times the speed of sound, which might not be difficult for a 4th-rank evolver. But Feng Qing was currently only a 3rd-rank evolver. No way. I have to ask teacher. Feng Qing disconnected from the virtual world directly. In the 7-star cave world, only the challengers could enter. Others were barred from entry. The white-bearded elder, being an artificial intelligence, belonged to an independent entity and naturally couldn't enter. If Feng Qing wanted to contact the white-bearded elder, he would have to exit the 7-star cave world first. Seeing Feng Qing disappear, Lin Yuan immediately knew that he likely went to call for help. There shouldn't be a big problem. Lin Yuan thought for a while. He felt that Feng Qing should be able to pass through the 2nd star cave. Compared to the 1st star cave, the test of the 2nd star cave might even be said to be simpler. After all, to pass through the 1st star cave, one must persist through 100 miles of track. There might be tricks to tackle it, like using other methods or secret techniques to reduce the pressure of gravity. But one still had to complete the 100-mile track. However, the challenge of the 2nd star cave was merely to reach the end 40,000 meters away within 10 seconds. This provided a lot of flexibility, and it gave room for many forbidden techniques to be deployed. After all, with just 10 seconds needed, even the most hazardous of forbidden techniques could be sustained without a problem. Currently, everyone was in the virtual world, and their bodies were simulations, so even if they paid a great price, they could recover very quickly. Feng Qing just needed to choose a secret technique that exploited his potential. Even as a 3rd-rank evolver, he had a chance to pass through the 2nd star cave. After a moment of reflection, Lin Yuan took a step forward. It's Lord Gold Pattern. We've seen Lord Gold Pattern. Please, Lord Gold Pattern, you first. The other evolvers waiting at the gate immediately said respectfully. For an average silver pattern evolver, there wasn't much difference between red patterns and gold patterns. In any case, both were out of their league, and one needed to pay respects upon their sight. Lin Yuan nodded slightly, took a step, and entered the transparent passage. Boom! Almost instantly, Lin Yuan crossed thousands of meters. In the 40,000-meter-long transparent passage, it took Lin Yuan less than 7 seconds to reach the end. Only after Lin Yuan reached the endpoint did the fearsome sound of the sonic boom arrive. In front of the passage, dozens of evolvers swallowed hard. This Lord Gold Pattern, his speed is too fast. Not bad, he seems faster than the other Gold Pattern lords. Chapter 116 5th Star Cave, please subscribe. Understood 2. It's terrifying, just how strong this Lord Gold Pattern is. Why has he only now come to challenge the 2nd Star Cave? Keep your voice down, Lord Gold Pattern is not someone you can discuss. Dozens of evolvers lowered their voices. Until now, none of them were confident in passing through the 2nd Star Cave, yet Lin Yuan did so with an effortlessly casual manner. Such a contrast made the dozens of evolvers have complex thoughts, a mix of awe and loss emerging simultaneously. There was a time when they too were peerless geniuses on their respective planets. The third star cave. This was a background of outer space. As soon as Lin Yuan appeared, he felt gravity disappear. He almost floated up. With a slight thought, Lin Yuan naturally descended. Outer space. Lin Yuan surveyed his surroundings. It was merely an environment simulating outer space. As for various types of radiation, there was none. So the challenge of this star cave is reaction time? Lin Yuan looked at the nearby stele, which listed the challenges of this star cave. Safely traverse the asteroid belt that stretches for thousands of miles ahead. There were countless asteroids drifting within the asteroid belt. Being touched by any asteroid meant elimination. Lin Yuan looked up toward the distant vast belt of asteroids, which resembled a dragon. This challenge was actually not difficult. The main thing was adapting to the environment of outer space. In other words, adapting to a zero-gravity environment. For third rank and fourth rank evolvers, most of their time was spent on planets. Suddenly coming to a zero-gravity environment, their strength was definitely impacted. In such a state, entering the asteroid belt with its myriad of asteroids, just a slightly slower reaction meant elimination. Please note, the elimination rule of this star cave isn't death by asteroid, but merely being touched by one. But, for me, it's oversimplified. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. This level, for Lin Yuan who possessed the Taiji domain, was simply a walkover. Weightless environment? Within his domain, Lin Yuan was a god, and recreating gravity was just a matter of thought. Furthermore, with the mastery of the Taiji domain, Lin Yuan could foresee the countless asteroids within the belt and make preemptive decisions about whether to evade or choose another route. In fact, the challenge of the third star cave was easy to pass as long as one controlled a domain. There was virtually no difficulty. However, not all evolvers could master a domain. Fourth rank and fifth rank evolvers only potentially could attain a domain, but most evolvers of this level still lacked one. Half a day later, Lin Yuan smoothly passed through the third star cave. He then arrived at the fourth star cave. That last wave of asteroids, tisk. The scene just now flashed through Lin Yuan's mind. An endless number of asteroids came rolling in. Had it not been for Lin Yuan's mastery of the domain, even a gold pattern evolver would have had a substantial chance of being eliminated. However, Lin Yuan also understood that the wave of asteroids was completely random and even a rare occurrence. Encountering it was just bad luck. The fourth star cave. Lin Yuan exhaled lightly. The challenges of the seven-star cave had mostly passed. This place. Lin Yuan looked around and found himself inside a palace. Statues several meters high stood in neat rows, with evolvers seated below them, frowning in deep thought. Among these evolvers were notably the three red pattern evolvers. All evolvers who walked ahead of Lin Yuan were stuck in this star cave. The challenge of this star cave is... Lin Yuan looked at the nearby stone tablet. This star cave's challenge tests comprehension. Challengers may choose a statue. By fully understanding the secret technique contained in the statue, they can pass the challenge. Testing comprehension? Lin Yuan's gaze momentarily swept over each statue. He noticed that the statues were identical. The secret techniques they contained must also be the same. Seems like the difficulty is quite high. Lin Yuan glanced again at the three red pattern evolvers. The silver-haired woman. The man with a bloodline on his forehead. A nearly 3-meter-tall burly man. At this moment, these three people were sitting in front of the statue, deep in thought. Especially the burly man with the giant axe. His fist tightening and loosening intermittently, Lin Yuan had the feeling that, if not for caution, this burly man might have smashed the statue. Seven-star cave world. Mysterious space. 12 figures focused their gaze on the fourth star cave. The 7 tests of the 7-star cave differed in difficulty from person to person, but the tests of the 4th and 7th caves were the same. Perception. I wonder who was the first to pass the 4th star cave. It should be Yin Ling. She was the first to enter the 4th star cave, and her contemplation time was also the longest. Her own perception is not bad. Correct. Yin Ling should be the first among the 3 gold pattern talents to pass the test. I can't be sure who was the first, but the last one will definitely be brute force. The 12 figures chatted intermittently. Brute force, that was the nearly 3-meter-tall burly man. He followed the rule of power path, excelling in overpowering all laws with sheer force. However, matters that required a great deal of time for contemplation proved to be a headache for him. Therefore, all 12 figures unanimously believed that brute force should be the last among the 3 gold pattern talents to pass the test of the 4th star cave. Ha ha ha, indeed. Actually, I think the Tri-Eye clan member has a good chance of being the first to pass the test. After all, their third eye allows them to see things ordinary beings cannot. The 12 figures conversed with each other. All their gaze was fixed on the 3 gold pattern talents. As for the others, even if they were gold pattern geniuses, taking 10 days or half a month to pass the test of this cave would be their limit. How could they possibly compare with the gold pattern talents? It must be this statue then. Lin Yuan walked to a secluded corner and chose a statue. To ensure fairness, every statue in the palace was indistinguishable, each containing the same secret technique. It's you. Beneath a nearby statue, a figure was sitting cross-legged. With green hair, radiating a certain ethereal aura. It was the green-haired gold pattern evolver Lin Yuan had encountered at the 100-mile race field in the 1st star cave. Just sit beneath the statue and gaze at it to begin the contemplation. Upon seeing Lin Yuan, the green-haired woman blinked and reminded him. Her impression of Lin Yuan was favorable. Back at the race field, Lin Yuan had not attacked her, indicating he was not too difficult to get along with. Okay. Lin Yuan nodded. Sat beneath the statue he had chosen. Then he looked up and fixed his gaze on the statue in front of him. Moments later, Lin Yuan faintly felt the statue before him had changed. No longer just meters tall, but transformed into a towering mountain peak, reaching from earth to sky. Your perception is exceptional. Gazing at the unknown statue, you have comprehended the mountain secret technique. Boom! Lin Yuan's thoughts returned, myriad flashes of spiritual light flooding into his mind, forming a special secret technique. This technique could stabilize his essence, spirit, and vitality, standing firm and unshaken in the world like a mountain. Could this technique take the form of some kind of foundation-solidifying secret technique? Lin Yuan quickly pondered in his mind. Within the Cosmic Human Alliance, there existed a vast sea of evolution paths. Each evolution path had its own unique cultivation requirements, but without exception, the more solid one's foundation, the easier it was to cultivate an evolution path. The mountain secret technique circulated within Lin Yuan's body. Faintly, Lin Yuan's blood settled, and his spirit concentrated, almost as if he were a small mountain sitting there. It seemed to sense the change in Lin Yuan. The statue in front of him suddenly began to glow. A beam of light descended from the sky, and then Lin Yuan disappeared. Lin Yuan's departure was not quiet. The other evolvers studying the statues immediately opened their eyes, staring in astonishment at the place where Lin Yuan had been sitting. Even the silver-haired woman, who was deeply engaged in contemplation from afar, now looked up. 7-star cave world. A certain level in mysterious space. The 12 conversing figures, whether the top 3 or the bottom 9, all stopped talking at the same time, shifting their eyes from the 4th star cave, all now looking towards Lin Yuan, who had already entered the 5th star cave. Chapter 117. Reap the benefits first, please subscribe. So fast. The 12 silhouettes were somewhat surprised. Although the mountain mystic skill is the introductory secret technique of the Red Kuan lineage, grasping it is not an easy task, especially for 3rd rank and 4th rank evolvers. But how long did Lin Yuan take? Half an hour? To be precise, it was 23 minutes. All of the 12 silhouettes were at least 6th rank fallen star warriors, with powerful awareness. With a mere recollection, they confirmed the time Lin Yuan took from sitting down to being teleported to the 5th star cave. Didn't expect this golden pattern challenger to possess such strong comprehension. Indeed, he performed ordinarily in the first 3 star caves, then burst forth in the 4th star cave, leaving the 3 red pattern examiners behind. Kawu, how do you feel now? Are you regretting it a bit? One of the 9 silhouettes below teased. Kawu frowned. In the 2nd star cave, he had already taken notice of Lin Yuan. The yin-yang attribute rules that Lin Yuan was pondering had areas of overlap with his own rules of light. A senior brother had suggested he take Lin Yuan as a disciple. But at that time, Kawu felt that taking a disciple wasn't a matter to be taken lightly, and planned to continue observing him to see his subsequent performance. Now, he had certainly seen Lin Yuan's performance. But, what a pity! Ka Wu sighed internally. 23 minutes to grasp the mountain mystic skill, without speaking of anything else. Just in terms of comprehension alone, he was definitely the strongest among all the challengers in the 7-star cave this time. He even surpassed the 3 red pattern examiners. But he knew this, and the other senior brothers knew as well. If it had been during the time in the 2nd-star cave, and Ka Wu had spoken up to take Lin Yuan, the other senior brothers wouldn't have contended with him since at that time, Lin Yuan's performance was standard, in line with a typical golden pattern challenger. There were over 100 golden pattern challengers available for the 12 of them to choose from. So if Ka Wu wanted an ordinary golden pattern challenger, none of his senior brothers would have objected. But now, Ka Wu glanced at the 3 figures above. He could feel that these 3 superiors beyond the 6th rank had taken an interest as well. With this, his hopes were completely dashed. The 3 figures above were also observing Lin Yuan. Compared to the 9 figures below, these 3 were much calmer. As beings who had transcended the 6th rank, the 3 figures were well aware that, compared to other aspects such as lineage, physique, strength, etc., comprehension was much harder to measure precisely. The simplest example being, some evolvers had a strong comprehension of wind system rules, yet in other rules, their comprehension was quite ordinary. Golden Pattern Challenger Lin Yuan, from Kanglin Star, a middle-grade life planet in the Dawn Star system, born to a normal family, 20 years old. The 3 figures began to browse through the information on Lin Yuan. What they could access was mostly public information, and as for more in-depth data, their permissions were insufficient. Permission insufficient? Is he a citizen under the covert attention of the 3 goddesses? Looks like his background checks out. With the goddesses' attention, he definitely can't be an alien in disguise. It was no surprise to the 3 figures. At their level, they naturally knew that within the Cosmic Alliance, the 3 goddesses also evaluated every citizen. If a citizen exhibited something special, he would catch the eyes of the 3 goddesses. Though they wouldn't directly help, they would take measures to block his information. Of course, blocking information could attract the attention of those with intentions. For instance, if everyone else's information isn't blocked, only yours is, wouldn't it be a giveaway? But one must know, the standards that the 3 goddesses use to judge special talent are not limited to the realm of evolution but also include the arts, science, gastronomy, and more. Additionally, the information blocking isn't permanent. For instance, if after a while the goddesses no longer consider you a special talent, they would also lift the block. Probabilistically, there will be 1 or 2 citizens on every planet whose information is blocked by the 3 goddesses. This prevents the chance of alien strong ones specifically targeting citizens with blocked information for assassination. After all, you don't know exactly what kind of person you're targeting. What if, after the aliens have spent untold resources and sacrificed many important pieces, they ultimately kill an expert in the culinary arts? Even looking at only the public information, this golden pattern challenger Lin Yuan must have had some adventure. After all, a normal family can't afford to support a 3rd, 4th rank evolver's cultivation. Regardless of whether or not he has had any adventures, just the fact that he comprehended the mountain mystic skill in 23 minutes indicates an exceptionally high level of comprehension. Now let's see his performance in the 7th-star cave. The 3 figures conversed with one another. So-called adventures were nothing out of the ordinary for them, as every challenger who entered the 7-star cave world, even the lowest ranked with a silver pattern, had experienced adventures. Indeed, the 4th-star cave tested comprehension, which is a preliminary direction. But it is the 7th-star cave's trials that will truly determine suitability for our Red Kuan lineage. The 3 figures looked at Lin Yuan with satisfaction. They had even decided that even if Lin Yuan's comprehension was unsuitable for pondering the many secret techniques of the Red Kuan lineage, they would personally intervene to take him on. After all, Lin Yuan's feat of grasping the mountain mystic skill in 23 minutes was too terrifying. If not fit for the Red Kuan lineage, then they would procure the cultivation secret techniques from other forces, one by one, to test him. Such a talent must not be let go. The 4th-star cave. All the evolvers who were pondering the statues suddenly exploded with chatter. When Lin Yuan left, the statue illuminated, and a beam of light appeared. This was clearly not the usual log-off process. Chapter 118. Reap the benefits first. Subscribe please. _2 and the characteristics of those who passed the test. Less than half an hour had passed, and the test had been accomplished. Many examiners only felt that they had lived in vain. Teacher once said that my aptitude is the strongest he has ever seen, But it is precisely because of this that I need to join a more powerful force. In the distance, the silver-haired girl was thinking silently to herself. Joining a powerful force is not only to gain a higher platform, but also to meet other geniuses. Only then can you avoid becoming arrogant due to talent, and continue to move forward. The silver-haired girl took a deep breath. At this moment, she profoundly realized that her teacher was right. Seeing Lin Yuan pass the 4th star cave test in much less time than she had, the silver-haired girl immediately felt motivated. I am close too. Just a bit more. The silver-haired girl once again looked at the statue in front of her, immersing herself in deep contemplation. Really want to smash this statue with an axe. A nearly 3-meter-tall brute was somewhat anxious. Originally he was contemplating somewhat restlessly, but seeing someone pass the test made him even more so. Especially since the person who passed wasn't one of the other 2 red pattern examiners, but a gold pattern he hadn't taken seriously. My 3-eyed clan is naturally adept at comprehension, yet I didn't expect to be overtaken. The man with a blood-colored fine line on his forehead thought to himself. But I'm also close. The bloodline man looked up at the statue, the bloodline on his forehead faintly spreading open. The 5th star cave. Lin Yuan's figure appeared here. I was actually teleported directly to the 5th star cave. Lin Yuan felt a bit regretful in his heart. Originally, after comprehending the mountain mystic skill, he didn't plan to rush off, but instead wanted to stay in the 4th star cave and see what else he could comprehend from the other statues. Although all statues were identical, and in the interest of fairness, supposedly contained the same secret techniques, what if they didn't? The mountain mystic skill is truly extraordinary. After contemplating for a moment, Lin Yuan began to keenly sense the changes within his body. When operating the mountain mystic skill, his blood and chi solidified, and his entire being seemed like an immovable mountain. Lin Yuan could feel his physique and flesh body slowly improving. Although the extent was almost imperceptible, it was indeed advancing. After a while, Lin Yuan began to look around. The 5th star cave. According to the information provided by Feng Qing, the first 3 star caves tested the physical body. Whether it was the gravity of the 1st star cave, the speed of the 2nd star cave, or the reaction time of the 3rd star cave and so on. All were aimed at the physical body. Whereas the 4th star cave tested comprehension. Following the 4th star cave, the 5th and 6th star caves tested the soul. Cave test. Ascend to the mountaintop along the mountain path to pass. Hint: there is no danger to life in this cave test. Reach the mountaintop. Lin Yuan looked up and saw a mountain standing not far away. The mountain was roughly 100 meters tall, and at its base was a narrow mountain path entrance. Lin Yuan's expression became slightly solemn. Even without thinking, he knew the ascent would not be so simple. No danger to life. Lin Yuan took another glance at the hint on the stone tablet. The rules of the 7-star cave test had 2 premises for elimination. One was spending over a month in the world of a particular star cave. The second was death. First, try climbing the mountain. Lin Yuan approached the base of the mountain, paused for a moment, and stepped his right foot onto the path. An invisible force suddenly descended. Inside the Naiwan palace at his forehead, the black and white Tai Chi force in the form of a star system suddenly began to vibrate. This suddenly descending force, ignoring Lin Yuan's many defenses, directly attacked the soul. Boom, boom, boom. The black and white Tai Chi grinding disc slowly began to spin. Soon it ground the intangible force to nothing. Is this a soul attack? Lin Yuan suddenly understood the content of the test of this star cave. It was soul defense. Each step would bring about a soul attack. If one withstood it, they could step onto the next stair. If they could not withstand it, they would fall into a brief unconsciousness and tumble down from the stairs. Lin Yuan finally understood why this star cave was said to hold no risk to life. Given the strength of a 3rd or 4th rank evolver's physical body, even tumbling down from the mountaintop, a 100-meter fall wouldn't cause any injury. Of course, during the climb, all soul defense weapons are unusable. Lin Yuan's soul-suppressing bell is also included in this list. Just as Lin Yuan was deep in thought, another wave of soul attacks descended. Hum, hum, hum. Inside the Naiwan palace at the center of his brows, the black and white Tai Chi grinding disc slowly turned. Before long, it crushed the soul attack to smithereens. Suddenly, your innate understanding is defying the heavens, enduring soul attacks, You are perfecting your own soul defense. In a trance, Lin Yuan sensed that inside the Naiwen Palace at the center of his brows, the black and white Tai Chi star system seemed to become a bit more stable. Is there also this benefit? A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. An innate understanding that defied the heavens not only allowed Lin Yuan to comprehend martial techniques, evolution paths, various secret techniques, and even rules far beyond other evolvers, but it also improved Lin Yuan's adaptability. This adaptability had a wide range. For example, in the Dragon Tiger world, when Lin Yuan's consciousness descended upon an infant, on the brink of death from freezing and starvation, he comprehended a method to resist the cold and hunger. Now, as Lin Yuan endured soul attacks, the black and white Tai Chi star system in the Naiwen Palace of his brows was shaken. Thus, he comprehended a method to stabilize the soul. Of course, this kind of adaptability has its limits. At the end in the Divine Arms world, when Lin Yuan entered the spatial rift, he was instantly turned to dust, with no time to grasp any understanding. But the soul attack at the first step clearly couldn't crush Lin Yuan's soul defense rapidly. Good. Joy filled Lin Yuan's heart. He naturally knew the importance of the soul. The stronger the soul's defense, the safer he was. Boom. Yet another soul attack descended. And this time, inside the Naiwen Palace at the center of his brows, the black and white Tai Chi star system was much more stable, merely accelerating its spin to erase the soul attack. Your innate understanding is defying the heavens. Enduring soul attacks, you are perfecting your own soul defense. Instantly, the black and white Tai Chi star system became even more stable. Witnessing this scene, Lin Yuan simply decided to stay on the first step and not move. Allowing wave after wave of soul attacks to fall, then stimulating the black and white Tai Chi star system inside the Naiwen Palace of his brows to slowly transform. 10 minutes later. The soul attack from the first step had already lost the ability to shake the black and white Tai Chi star system inside the Naiwen Palace of his brows. The descending force of the invisible, unable to even approach the outermost edge, dissipated on its own. Only then did Lin Yuan somewhat reluctantly step onto the second step. The soul attack from the second step was somewhat stronger than the first, but to Lin Yuan, it wasn't much of a challenge. Unless it could crush him rapidly, any damage he suffered could only serve to make him stronger. By the time Lin Yuan reached the sixth step, whoosh! A figure once again appeared inside the fifth star cave. It was that red pattern examiner, the silver-haired woman, Yin Ling, the fifth star cave. The silver-haired woman caught sight of Lin Yuan climbing the steps at first glance. At the same time, she also understood the content of the trial. So much time has passed, and he's only climbed that many steps. The test must be very difficult. Yin Ling now regarded Lin Yuan as an opponent from the red pattern challenge. Although in the 7-star cave trial, everyone was not in competition, and as long as one passed through the 7 caves, they could join the Red Kuan lineage. There was no limit on the number. But seeing Lin Yuan's performance in the 4th-star cave, Yin Ling subconsciously compared herself to him. I'll try as well. Yin Ling walked to the foot of the mountain and without any hesitation, stepped onto the first step. Not difficult. The descending soul attack merely shook Yin Ling's outer soul a bit before being blocked. The 2nd step. The 3rd step. The 4th step. The 5th step. Yin Ling continued her ascent towards the summit. Before she knew it, Yin Ling had already climbed the 40th layer of steps. The mountain was 100 meters high, with roughly 300 steps. At this point, the soul attack that descended was serious enough for Yin Ling to treat with caution. Her gaze instinctively glanced below. Seeing Lin Yuan still dawdling on the 7th step, "This guy!" A strange expression crossed Yin Ling's face. Chapter 119 Pagoda of the Mind. Please subscribe. Yin Ling painstakingly climbed up step by step. She naturally knew that the first 20 steps posed no difficulty for 3rd rank and 4th rank evolvers. They could basically withstand it. After all, Lin Yuan was a gold pattern evolver. If he had begun to comprehend the rules, how could he possibly linger on the first 20 steps for such an extended time? Could there be some sort of mystery? A thought flickered through Yin Ling's mind. She felt that Lin Yuan's progress to this point definitely wasn't due to foolishness. Every move he made was profound. With this thought, Yin Ling also stopped moving on the 40th step. Boom, boom, boom. Wave after wave of soul attacks descended. Even though Yin Ling could completely withstand soul attacks of this level, she ultimately found it was a total waste of time. What kind of damned mystery is this? Yin Ling's face soured. feeling her actions were foolish. This lengthy halt, while not weakening her strength, was definitely of no benefit whatsoever. With this realization, Yin once again began her climb toward the summit. Soul defense has increased by 20%. The stability of the black and white Taiji star system within the Naiwan Palace has fortified by 1.5%. At the 7th step, Lin Yuan felt quite pleased. These soul attacks were, for him, far more efficient than practicing in solitude. Whether or not I can join the Red Kuan lineage, it's best to take advantage of the situation first. Seeing that the soul attacks at the 7th step posed no threat to him, Lin Yuan stepped onto the 8th step. His stay in the 5th star cave wouldn't affect his ultimate passage through the 7-star cave challenge, so long as the time spent in each star cave didn't exceed a month. In the 7-star cave world, within a layer of the mysterious space, Lin Yuan's actions also caught the attention of 12 silhouettes. What exactly is Lin Yuan doing? Why isn't he hurrying to the 7th-star cave to pass the final test instead of wasting time in the 5th-star cave? Could it be that his soul is his weak point and he is struggling with those soul attacks, which is why he is dawdling? The 9 silhouettes below whispered among themselves and speculated. The trial of the 7-star cave, set by the majestic Qikuan Starlord, was something not even the 12 disciples could interrupt. They could only select disciples based on the performance in each test. If Lin Yuan's performance wasn't intentional, then it meant he was not adept at resisting soul attacks. And the intensity of the soul attacks in the 5th-star cave was tailored according to the foundational strength tier of each challenger. For instance, if you were a 3rd-rank evolver, you would face soul attacks of 3rd-rank intensity, at most reaching the peak of 3rd rank. Lin Yuan, being a 4th-rank Section 10 evolver, was subject to soul attacks of at least 4th rank, so if he wasn't skilled in soul defense, it wouldn't be surprising for him to find such attacks strenuous. Not skilled in soul defense? The 9 silhouettes looked at each other incredulously. The issue is not major. The 3 silhouettes above were unconcerned. Soul defense could be improved later. If Lin Yuan was deficient in that area, they could simply bestow a few soul defense treasures upon him later. At this pace, can he truly get through the 5th-star cave within a month? The silhouette on the left spoke, a hint of worry in his voice. He was called Gu Zhe, the 3rd disciple of the Qikuan Starlord, and also a being beyond 6th rank. Among the 3, Gu Zhe was most optimistic about Lin Yuan. Take your time. Gu Zhe thought to himself. Even if Lin Yuan didn't pass the 7-star caves, he had the ability to bring him into the Red Kuan lineage. However, in that case, Lin Yuan's status would certainly not be as high as other challengers who had passed all 7-star caves. Moreover, without testing his specific talents in the 7th-star cave, Gu Zhe didn't know how to formulate a subsequent cultivation plan for Lin Yuan. The 7-star cave trial set by the Qikuan Starlord wasn't always open. The implication was that activating the trial came at a certain cost. The effectiveness of the trials within the 7-star cave was also extremely precise. The 7 differing trials essentially allowed for an assessment of each challenger's potential. On the mountain steps, Lin Yuan took a step forward and paused with each step. This incessant soul attack isn't something one comes across easily, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Soul attacks are a very special method of assault as they severely drain the soul power of the attacker. And the recovery isn't as quick as that of vital energy or stamina. Generally speaking, a soul-type evolver who unleashes 10 or 20 full-power soul attacks would likely be drained and need to rest for some time. Thus, Lin Yuan could hardly find a soul-type evolver who would be able to continually assail him. As for higher-tier soul-type evolvers, Lin Yuan was somewhat apprehensive, fearing that if one suddenly struck with full force, wouldn't his life be in danger? However, the pace of improvement is noticeably slowing down. Lin Yuan clearly perceived a decline in the enhancement of his soul strength. If the enhancement brought by the initial step was 10, it was now 8 or even 5. Mainly because the soul attacks now have an increasingly weaker effect on me. Lin Yuan thought. Only when he felt threatened could he stimulate his against heaven's understanding to perfect his current physical and soul conditions so as to better cope with the impending crisis. But now, Lin Yuan barely felt threatened. It was just like in the 1st-star cave, walking along a 100-mile black track. Even without relying on other means, such as the Taiji field and so forth, Lin Yuan could easily complete the track simply with his physical body. Therefore, from beginning to end, the against heaven's understanding hadn't devised a way to enhance his physical capabilities. Chapter 120 Tower of the Mind, Please subscribe. _2. There's still plenty of time, Lin Yuan said. He stopped on the 20th step. By now, he had completed nearly 1/10 of his journey to the peak. Lin Yuan looked up towards the summit and noticed that the silver-haired woman had reached the very top few steps. However, it was clear that her complexion had turned somewhat pale. The final few steps seemed to cause her considerable discomfort. It's a pity I didn't go all out to exert my strength, and just resisting spiritual attacks doesn't really reveal much. Lin Yuan felt a slight regret. He had hoped to continue gleaning insights from her, as realizations about space are quite rare. But to achieve any understanding, she would need to make a move. Like when the silver-haired woman employed the spatial step, Lin Yuan saw it and started to gain insights into that aspect. If it were just about watching the person, then Lin Yuan's gains could be in other areas. Like how to turn his hair silver, or how to transform into the opposite sex. Utterly meaningless epiphanies. Friend, what are you looking at? Just as Lin Yuan was contemplating, a voice came from beside him. She was also a golden pattern challenger, a prodigy born from 1,000 life planets. But at the moment, this golden pattern challenger was somewhat out of breath. Climbing 20 consecutive steps in a short time was equivalent to withstanding 20 spiritual attacks, each stronger than the last. The experience was quite unpleasant. Nothing much. In watching that red pattern, looks like she's about to pass the 7-star cave challenge. Lin Yuan found a casual excuse. Yinling, huh? I know her. Her mentor is the renowned 6th-rank fallen star warrior. This time, she's participating in the 7-star cave challenge, hoping to become a disciple of those 3, said the golden pattern evolver with a grin. If you stay on a particular step, you will continue to face the soul attacks of that step. But the time interval is at least 1 to 2 minutes, and the intensity is consistent, so as long as you survive the first wave, there isn't much problem afterward. Those 3. Lin Yuan knew of whom she spoke. They were the 3 strongest disciples of the Qikuan Star Lord. Each was a being exceeding 6th rank. It seems that the Qikuan Star Lord is quite adept at teaching disciples, Lin Yuan remarked. Each being that surpassed 6th rank needed to carve out their own path. External help wasn't much use. The Qikuan Star Lord being able to mentor 3 disciples of such caliber showed he was quite skilled in this area. That's indeed true. Not just that. The Star Lord's strength is commanding. In the war against the insect race, the Star Lord manifested his true body and downed an insect race hive in one gulp. The golden pattern evolver spoke with obvious admiration for the Qikuan Star Lord. He knew very well of the Qikuan Star Lord's many feats of valor. An insect race hive? Lin Yuan's expression grew slightly solemn. Each insect race hive was under the watch of an insect queen. And a queen capable of forging her own hive would surpass the 6th rank according to the strength classification of the human race. An insect race hive could continuously spawn insect race warriors. 1st rank, 2nd layer, 3rd rank, 4th rank, 5th rank, and even 6th rank could be produced in large quantities. For other races, reaching 5th or 6th rank was a matter of countless years, with perhaps one emerging from millions. But for the insect race, as long as there was sufficient energy, the queens could create without limit. A 6th rank insect race warrior might not match a human race 6th rank evolver in direct combat power, but the sheer numbers are overwhelming. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 6th rank insect race warriors. Can they not defeat a single 6th rank evolver? This is the terror of the insect race. With their sea of insects tactics, they stand nearly at the peak of the cosmic starry sky. The humans' war with the insect race didn't start off very smoothly, but luckily, humanity had an edge in peak combat power over the insect race. That's how the current situation was formed. The Qikuan Star Lord swallowing an insect race hive on the battlefield was a tremendous achievement, indirectly saving the lives of countless human race evolvers. Of course, as the source of the insect race, the hives would be protected to the highest degree and were not an easy target. Many evolvers exceeding 6th rank often disappeared under the overwhelming tide of insect race warriors before even finding the hive. And the hives weren't defenseless. They had their own means of survival. The golden pattern evolver chatted with Lin Yuan for a while. Then she went offline to rest. Lin Yuan continued to stay on this step for a little while. After a while, he climbed a few more steps. Then he also disconnected from the virtual world and returned to reality. Somewhat tired, Lin Yuan rubbed his brow. In fact, once reaching the level of a 4th rank evolver, the physical body hardly felt any fatigue. With the circulation of qi and blood, Inhaling the pervasive power of Taiyin and Taiyang between heaven and earth, they resembled a weakened version of a perpetual motion machine. But while the body wasn't tired, the mind certainly was. Especially when subject to spiritual attacks, even with against heaven's understanding slowly bolstering the soul's defenses, prolonged strain still led to exhaustion. Time to sleep. Lin Yuan closed his eyes. He had not slept for a long time. Now was the perfect time to have a good sleep. One day later, Lin Yuan opened his eyes. He felt completely refreshed, with all fatigue swept away. Because of your against heaven's understanding, having suffered a great amount of soul attacks, you have comprehended the soul defense secret technique Mind Palace. Within the Naiwen Palace in the center of his forehead, a great amount of soul power began to surge, and the black and white yin-yang taiji star system also started to vibrate. Ultimately, a translucent five-colored pagoda took shape, enveloping the entire Naiwen Palace within. Soul defense secret technique. Lin Yuan's heart was filled with joy. He could feel that, outside the Naiwen Palace, the invisible pagoda constructed from his own soul power had defensive capabilities that even surpassed the soul-suppressing bell. What was this concept? The soul-suppressing bell is a weapon for soul defense, capable of guarding the soul. And now Lin Yuan, without relying on the soul-suppressing bell, could achieve the same thing? Or even surpass it. From now on, even if I shuttle through worlds, I probably don't have to worry about soul defense. Lin Yuan was in a good mood. When shuttling through the door to the myriad realms, unless his physical body passed through, Lin Yuan couldn't bring the soul-suppressing bell with him when only his consciousness descended. But now, with the soul defense secret technique, even without the aid of the soul-suppressing bell, Lin Yuan had enough confidence in his soul defense. Keep going, keep going. Lin Yuan was full of motivation and reconnected to the virtual world, entering the 7-star cave world again. Whoosh! 5th star cave. Midway up the mountain, Lin Yuan's figure suddenly appeared. Lin Yuan's brow furrowed slightly. The moment he appeared, the soul attack belonging to this level of the stairways descended upon him. However, this soul attack hadn't even reached the Naiwen Palace before it was blocked by the invisible pagoda. Mind Palace. Lin Yuan couldn't help but marvel. The soul attack from this level of stairways was capable of shaking the outer defenses of Lin Yuan's soul. But now, faced with this soul defense secret technique, it couldn't shake him, let alone affect him. Disperse. With just a thought from Lin Yuan, the invisible Mind Palace began to dissipate. Since it was a soul defense secret technique, it was naturally controllable. To continue benefiting from the soul attacks of the Star Cave, Lin Yuan would certainly not allow the Mind Palace to block his path. Boom, boom, boom. As time passed, Lin Yuan increasingly felt the enhancement from the soul attacks slowing down. Until eventually, they had no effect at all. Because even if Lin Yuan stood motionless, the descending soul attacks could no longer threaten him. It's about time, Lin Yuan thought to himself. At this moment, he had reached the last step. On to the next star cave. Unknowingly, Lin Yuan had spent more than half a month in this star cave already. Although he had quite a bit of time left in the month he could stay, since he couldn't glean any more benefits, there wasn't any reason to continue lingering. There are still quite a few evolvers. Lin Yuan glanced downward. At the foot and mid-levels of the mountain, numerous evolvers were scattered about. These evolvers, mostly with silver patterns, passed the 4th star cave's challenges and arrived at the 5th star cave, where they were struggling hard against the soul attacks. Let's go! Lin Yuan's figure flashed, and he directly reached the mountain's summit. A slight spatial fluctuation was transmitted. The next moment, Lin Yuan had already disappeared from the mountaintop, heading towards the 6th star cave. Mysterious space. Upon seeing Lin Yuan pass through the 5th star cave, the 12 silhouettes breathed a sigh of relief. He finally made it past. The difficulty of the 6th star cave isn't great. Having passed the 5th star cave, it's just a matter of time for the 6th. Among the 3 figures at the top, Gu Zhe looked towards Lin Yuan, his face expressing anticipation. He was very curious to see how Lin Yuan would perform in the 7th star cave. Chapter 121 7th Star Cave. Please subscribe. 6th Star Cave. Lin Yuan's figure appeared. Walk to the opposite side, and you can pass. Reminder. There is no risk of losing your life in this star cave. Lin Yuan glanced at the stele next to him. It described the method to pass through this star cave.
The opposite side?
Lin Yuan looked up. The so-called opposite side was about 10 steps away. Lin Yuan looked around. Within these 10 steps, dozens of testers were scattered about. These evolvers were either standing still, or looking down in thought, or frozen in place, or appeared bewildered. This star cave tests the soul as well. It's probably not just a simple soul attack. Lin Yuan looked thoughtful. The evolvers who stopped within the 10 steps showed different expressions, but overall they seemed calm, not showing signs of being under attack. After observing for a while, Lin Yuan, confident that there were no issues, took a step towards the opposite side. In an instant, the scenery around him changed. Lin Yuan was sitting at the top floor of a luxurious building, clearly seeing the outside world through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows. Spaceships and warships were landing one after another, and beyond the planet, there were space fortresses as big as the sun and moon standing guard. Now my identity is the wealthiest merchant in the Chikuan star domain? Do I have enough wealth to buy a whole star system? Am I conducting business with other star domains, and even different species? A flood of memories appeared in Lin Yuan's mind out of nowhere, allowing him to quickly understand his current situation. Master, the level 6 resource planet you bought a month ago has now been fully taken over. This level 6 resource planet, rich in all kinds of precious ores, brings in an income of 230 trillion cosmic currency every year. Master, the interest from your central bank deposit last year has been credited in full, which is roughly an income of 120 trillion cosmic currency. Master, the cosmic galaxy company you invested in, the shareholder dividend this year is 83 trillion cosmic currency. Master, intelligent robots stood not far away, continuously reporting various incomes. The unit of measurement used was not the Human Alliance's civilization currency but the higher-end cosmic currency. Compared to the civilization currency, which can only be used within Human Alliance territories, cosmic currency can be used in many racial territories. The exchange rate between the two is 1 to 10,000. 10,000 civilization currency can be exchanged for 1 cosmic currency. Too wealthy. Lin Yuan checked his account balance. The string of zeros at the end made him gasp in amazement. Too bad. It's all an illusion. Lin Yuan sighed softly, and the scenes around him began to shatter. He was back in the 6-star cave. So with each step taken, one experiences a kind of illusionary realm? Lin Yuan looked thoughtful, having now completed the first step. To continue, he would have to take the second step. The illusionary realm is not difficult. Assuming you are prepared, it's not much of a threat, but it's too tempting. Even knowing it's fake, it makes one want to stay a little longer, to experience it a bit more. Lin Yuan thought to himself. If one harbored such thoughts, it would be dangerous, because for every second you linger in the illusionary realm, days might pass by in the outside world. Indeed, the illusionary realm would not threaten the life of the tester. However, if one stayed in this star cave for more than a month, they would be automatically disqualified. If one indulged too much, enjoyed too much, they might unconsciously ignore time and thus be eliminated. Continue. Lin Yuan reflected for a moment, then took the second step. The environment around him changed once again. This time, Lin Yuan appeared in a magnificent palace. Surrounding him were numerous beauties. These females were all stunningly beautiful, each movement capturing the soul, currently serving Lin Yuan in a submissive manner. The first step is wealth, the second step is beauty? Lin Yuan thought to himself. He couldn't deny that everything in the illusionary realm felt extremely real, the delicate touch of the skin and the lingering fragrance in the air. King! A beauty with deep blue pupils snuggled up, trailing her slender fingers across Lin Yuan's chest, whispering in his ear. King! Another beauty came onto him, caressing Lin Yuan's abdomen, with a hot breath flowing. King! 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 One beauty after another drew close, and if placed in a human alliance, they would at least be streamers or stars with hundreds of billions of fans, but now they were all trying to please Lin Yuan. Must focus on the important things. Lin Yuan withdrew his right hand from the embrace of a beauty, and with a thought, in a flash, the scenes around him began to shatter, and Lin Yuan was back in the 6-star cave. To say he returned to the star cave is somewhat inaccurate because Lin Yuan never left it in the first place. Everything he experienced was an illusion. Has a minute passed? Lin Yuan looked at the time. Quite insidious. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. In the beauty illusionary realm, as long as a tester feels like enjoying the experience a little, such as trying the skills of the beauties, even if it's only for a few seconds, the passage of time in the outside world could accelerate by nearly 10 to dozens of times. After all, compared to the wealth illusionary realm of the first step, the beauty illusionary realm of the second step created sensations almost identical to reality. Enjoying it there was almost no different from enjoying it in the real world. Next, Lin Yuan took several steps in succession. The illusionary realms he encountered varied greatly, involving power, status, strength, and so on. The illusionary realms of the six-star cave were very realistic, targeting each tester's inner desires and emotions. But for Lin Yuan, these were oversimplified. It wasn't that Lin Yuan had a particular talent in this area, but rather he had experienced all there was to experience. You're tuning in to the Wisdom Diary YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.